for the field will race down the second short chute down the tri-oval and into the view of the gentleman calling today's race, Alex Hayden, Kyle Rickey, and Todd Gordon.
And that is one lap around the Talladega Superspeedway. The green flag in the United Rentals 250 is coming up next.
Just like a pit crew helps a driver reach victory lane, Ally helps you reach your financial goals. Ally has tools like savings buckets to keep your savings on track and savings boosters to put a little extra gas in your tank. Visit Ally.com to learn more about how you can grow your money fast. Savings buckets and boosters are features of the Ally Bank savings account. Ally Bank, member FDIC.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Just over a lap away from the green flag from Talladega Superspeedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR.
The green flag is in the air, and we are underway. The Great American Race.
The Motor Racing Network. NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Craftsman Truck Series Racing live on your hometown radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com. Martinsville, Talladega, the Chicago Street Course. We have the side-by-side action and last lap passes for the win.
Photo finishes. Ryan Blaney will win.
The voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
NASCAR history.
What I learned from Ken Squire, Barney Hall, and Ned Jarrett, I could never repay. Ken never told me what to say or what not to say. I learned very quickly that I was never going to be another Ken Squire. I don't think anybody could rise to that level.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcasts 50 Years of MRN. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Field has doubled up in their rows of 2 off of turn 2 and up the back straightaway, just over a half a lap away from getting the United Rentals 250 underway for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So while we have a moment, let's take one final sweep down the pit lane and get any other stories that we may have missed during our pre-race coverage, when we'll begin with Steve Post.
Kyle, it's always good to see Brandon Butterbean Queen in a show, making his 3rd start here in the Xfinity Series, coming off a 9th place run at Kansas in his last start. He's driving for Kaulig Racing. Now, Butterbean's got a great story. Started at the local tracks, Langley Speedway in Virginia, some dirt tracks over in eastern North Carolina. Climbed the ladder 2024 to the Cars Tour Championship. This year, a strong season, 8 wins on way en route to the ARCA Menard Series Championship, and that success has launched him into the announcement this week that he will be the first driver that Kaulig Racing has announced for their 2025 Ram Truck Series program. Talked to Butterbean earlier. Very, very excited about the opportunity, and we'll see how that goes next year in the Ram trucks for Kaulig Racing. Right now in his Kaulig Chevrolet here, he starts in position number 12. Jason Toy.
Steve, one of the great things about Speedway racing, they call it the great equalizer, and that allows smaller teams to have opportunities to be able to get a chance to run up front. Cesar Baccarella runs these plate tracks. His own team, Alpha Prime, that he's co-owner with, filled him a car here. He's got 3 top 10s in plate racing in the short amount of his starts. 2 of those are here at Talladega. We'll keep an eye on him. Brad Gilly.
3 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota start in the top 10 with William Sawalich, Eric Almirola, and Brandon Jones. You guys already mentioned that at the back is Taylor Gray. They had to change the
Easy, right? You in? Get up to speed at tgrna.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
Looking for weekly motorsports podcasts to stay up to date on what's happening on and off the track? The Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform.
15 laps to go in the opening stage of today's United Rentals 250 at Talladega. Jesse Love up front, Christian Eckes. He is second. At the moment, Carson Kvapil is third, Austin Hill fourth, and Eric Almirola runs fifth. From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Get ready to rev your engines, NASCAR fans. The thrill, the speed, the action. You can now experience it all for free on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. Feel the adrenaline with a library of unforgettable races from Daytona to Talladega. It's a front row seat to NASCAR history. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere on your favorite fast platform. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Find the NASCAR channel on your streaming device and start watching today.
Jesse Love continues to show the way here. Lap number 12 goes on the board of the United Rentals 250. Whether your project is below ground or you're just breaking ground, United Rentals has the equipment and tools you need to get the job done. Backed by a team of experts and a suite of digital tools, United Rentals is ready to help you work united for a smarter, safer, and more sustainable work site.
Field races off the end of the back straightaway, and it looks like Jesse Love has found his Richard Childress Racing teammate in Austin Hill in the outside lane as they come off the corner, and now they're both challenged off of turn number 4 as the battle for the lead is on as they come into the tri-oval for the top spot. Love trying to maintain the race lead. William Sawalich to the inside, make that Jeb Burton now challenging for the second spot on Austin Hill as they go back to turn number 1.
Jeb Burton always strong at the super speedways. He challenged up front a moment ago. He's now slipped back into a 3-wide battle for number 5 position. He'll take the bottom lane off turn 2.
Jeb Burton fighting for that spot along with Sheldon Creed and others as they race up the Alabama Gang super stretch. Now here is Nick Sanchez going 3 wide with William Sawalich and Harrison Burton for third.
Harrison Burton leading the outside lane will get a shot in the shorts from Ryan Sieg, trying to get some momentum built back up. But how about Nick Sanchez now all the way to the back bumper of race leader Jesse Love off turn number 4. He'll get a challenge for the top spot.
Jesse Love is doing what he needs to do to maintain at the front of the field, Todd. He's going inside, he's going outside, even to the middle when he has to.
Yeah, he's driving in the mirror more than he is out the front windshield, but doing a great job of just controlling the momentum of each of the lanes. We've got a pretty solid 3 lanes of traffic here, seeing where the momentum's coming from. I'm sure the spotter in his ear working him out to about a 2-car length advantage as he exits turn 2.
Here they come out of turn number 2. Field still 2 and 3 wide behind the race leader Jesse Love. Not for much longer. Here comes Nick Sanchez. He steps to the left, goes to the inside of Love, and takes the lead off the exit of the back straightaway.
Strong move from Nick Sanchez into turn number 3. He'll lead the pack now to the bottom side of the racetrack. Right on that yellow line. Now it's going to be Austin Hill in tow on the bottom, and Jesse Love going to have to rally, but he's all by himself in the outer lane.
Former race leader Jesse Love kicked back to at least the 3rd spot as they come into the tri-oval inside lane with momentum, and now Jones out of shape, and that'll collect about a dozen cars here on the front straightaway as they go spinning and crashing into turn number 1. Brandon Jones, the first car to get out of shape, and it has collected a bunch of them here, including Sheldon Creed. So a couple of the playoff drivers collected here at the front straightaway on lap 15.
They were working their way, the lead draft was 2 and 3 wide, to the inside of the Carson Ware car, putting him a lap down here in the tri-oval. Ware did nothing wrong. He was holding his line topside, but everybody began to crowd each other down towards the bottom of the racetrack. And that one got out of hand early right here at the start-finish line. This big skid pad that's paved to drivers left below the double yellow line. It is now colored dark with all kinds of dark Goodyear tire skid marks that have made their way, and only a handful of cars have been unable to pull away from the accident site right now. Todd, it seemed like everybody was sort of minding their own business for the most part, and things just seemed to tense up right here in the middle of the tri-oval.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it just kind of got to a point where it condensed. And we had several guys that are playoff contenders that got caught up in this one. Sheldon Creed's car looks destroyed as it's rolling back down the backstretch and trying to get back to it. There's several cars in this one. We'll have to check all those out.
Sam Mayer among them. Jordan Anderson is involved. Ryan Sieg is involved. Just a few of the cars damaged in the incident here on lap 15. Puts us under the caution flag for the first time in Talladega.
So I just switched to Straight Talk Wireless.
Uh-oh, we just ran out of gas.
Great, gives us time to watch the race.
You know the next town is 50 miles away, right?
Don't worry, I have real unlimited data now.
But how are we going to get out of here?
We got about 200 laps before we need to figure that out.
Get a free 5G phone with select plans and real unlimited data only for a limited time at Straight Talk. Available at your local Walmart and StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk is an official partner of NASCAR. Taxes and fees apply. Requires single line activation on a qualifying plan for network management practices. Visit StraightTalk.com. Copyright 2025 Verizon. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Harrison Burton on the pit lane, one of about 8 to 12 cars that suffered damage in this multi-car incident here on the front straightaway, including several playoff drivers, Sam Mayer, Brandon Jones, and Sheldon Creed among them involved in the incident here on the front straightaway. Under caution for the first time. We'll reset it here in a moment. From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
And in the whole pack, steaming for the finish line, Dale Earnhardt wins the Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform.
Don't miss a moment of the NASCAR season.
Chastain drove it and never lifted. Put it against the safer barrier and all the way around the turn, passes Denny Hamlin.
Check out the Motor Racing Network's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series on hundreds of local radio stations around the country. Find your local station by going to MRN.com to catch the excitement of NASCAR on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Add Jeremy Clements to the list of competitors involved in this incident here on the front straightaway. He has gone back to the NASCAR Xfinity Series garage. Alex, it started toward the front of the field when Jeb Burton came into contact with Sheldon Creed, Brandon Jones, and then it was on from there.
Yeah, it was. Jeb Burton, it looked like just the traffic stacked up like we were talking about a moment ago with the entire lead pack that was already 2 and 3 wide trying to get to the inside of the lap car running by himself, Carson Ware. And things just kind of stacked up, and a domino effect was on. 3 playoff cars were collected in this. Brandon Jones, Sam Mayer, and Sheldon Creed, the 3 playoff drivers that got significant damage in this machine, in this crash, I said, to their machines. 10 cars total is what we have involved in the wreck, including Creed, and Brendan Queen got a piece of that. Brandon Jones, Harrison Burton got some of it. Jeb Burton, Jordan Anderson, Ryan Sieg, Sam Mayer got some of that crash, along with The car of Anthony Alfredo got a big chunk of that. Jeremy Clements, he too is torn up. He's already been able to drive his wounded car back to the Xfinity Series garage.
Didn't look like a whole lot of damage to the Brendan Queen car driving for Kaulig Racing. Spun backwards across the start-finish line when the wreck began here just a couple laps ago. Of course, Brendan won the Daytona ARCA race earlier this season, which started a championship year for Brendan in the ARCA Menard Series. As we go down to Steve Post.
Boy, we've got some wounded race car. Let's talk about two of the playoff drivers down here. Sheldon Creed's car is just absolutely demolished, okay? It would be easier to say the left front is intact. And when I say the left front, I mean fender only. The hood is off the car. There is no right front fender. There is no right rear fender. There is no left rear fender. The fenders are gone on the car. So right now you can see right through. I can look over Sheldon's shoulder and see the start finish or the front stretch out there. It is absolutely tore up on 3 of the 4 corners. Sheldon sits in the car. They're going to work on trying to get it out here and get going. Jonathan Tony, the crew chief. But I'm telling you, this thing is just in bad shape. 2 pit boxes behind him. Another playoff driver, Brendan Jones. Brendan's got a lot of damage, Brandon does, on the right side of the car. Right front is tore up pretty good. Down the right side, little damage on the left front fender as well. So the crew is working on that. So a couple of playoff drivers. Brendan Queen has a little damage. Harrison Burton has the rear bumper cover off from his car. But these playoff drivers, Sheldon Creed and Brandon Jones, have long days ahead of them. Jason Toy?
Sam Mayer, one of those other playoff drivers that you talked about, significant damage on the front end of the race car before they were forced to stop because the red flag coming out on the track, meaning all service on pit road must come to a halt. They were able to get a lot of the work done. They put some Barabon on the front nose. They patched up a couple of holes. It's not going to be perfect for them. They're wanting to try to get max points as they can to be able to stay out here and try to do what they have to do. So one of the things for Sam Mayer, they're back. The race car is back on the ground on all 4 tires. Front end is buttoned up a little bit too, so they're going to try to continue to make sure he's good once they can get back rolling. Brad Gilly.
Jason, the only car on my end of pit road that suffered damage is Anthony Alfredo, and he has some pretty heavy left front damage right behind the left front wheel. Also has damage on the right front of the car as well. They think it's fixable, but once he got the car into pit road, you can really see just how extensive it is on the left side. They're going to try and fix it, get him back out there on the track. But outside of that, for my playoffs contenders like Jesse Love, Austin Hill, they're all in great shape when it comes to being out front.
We are under the red flag, as Jason mentioned a moment ago. Reason being here, it's directly below our feet here in the broadcast booth at the exit of the Tri-Oval. Safety teams are working on the safer barrier. They brought the welding truck out and a crew of yellow fire suits, which are the track operations and safety teams have come to work down here, and they're having to weld steel pieces over those that were sheared away from the hard contact with the outside safer barrier by Sheldon Creed's car. He hit that wall a ton down here in the exit of the Tri-Oval. So that's the reason for the red flag now, which means cars are stopped behind the pace car, and they're stopped over on the Alabama Gang Super Stretch while they work here on the front side at the Tri-Oval. But that means the cars on the pit lane, those teams cannot touch their race cars right now while we sit under the red flag.
Talk about the drivers involved in this incident that were among the playoff drivers or are among the playoff drivers. Definitely has shuffled things here as we sit under the red flag. Connor Zilic still in good shape, plus 93. Justin Allgaier, good shape, plus 76. Jesse Love, pretty good shape at plus 58. Carson Kvapil has plus 6 and is the final car in the top 4 right now. Sam Mayer, minus 6. Sammy Smith, minus 10. And then we get back to Brandon Jones, 12 points out. And Sheldon Creed going to take a pretty good hit here. 29 points out currently in 8th against, a long way to go here at Talladega. We're only, not even, just over halfway to stage number 1. Lap 25 will be the conclusion of the opening stage here this afternoon under the red flag here at lap 17. It looks like Sheldon Creed will be the next car to go behind the wall and toward the NASCAR Xfinity Series garage area.
There's just not a whole lot left, at least of the bodywork of the Sheldon Creed car. Damage far more extensive because of all the body panels missing, Todd. We got a pretty good idea from our vantage point. There's some suspension damage as well.
He didn't have 2 tires pointed in the same direction on that car. I feel like the rear end housing probably got some toe bend in it. The front tires were 20 degrees different directions. I don't know that that's fixable as they were going through. Took it back to the garage.
So the garage getting busy here under this red flag. The field has come to a stop on the back straightaway as work continues on the outside safer wall here in the tri-oval after a pretty big impact with Sheldon Creed and about 10 others that put us under the caution flag for the first time on lap 15.
United Rentals is proud to sponsor the United Rentals 250 at Talladega Superspeedway. With the most comprehensive equipment fleet in North America, backed by a team of industry experts, United Rentals is ready to deliver customized solutions for whatever your project demands. United Rentals is more than an equipment rental provider. They are a full-service partner for safe, productive, and sustainable job sites. United Rentals, building a better future together.
Drivers, start your engines!
Your home for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Green flag goes in the air and we are underway.
On the NASCAR Racing Network.
2x2x2. They're about 10 rows deep of double wide racing. Taylor Gray to the bottom. Nick Sanchez outside, and they're crashing mid-pack.
It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Continuing under the red flag here on lap number 17 after a multi-car incident. We'll recap who is involved and tell you where your favorite driver is running still early in the running of the United Rentals 250. From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hello?
Hey, Tim. It's your man tank. I think those veggies in the crisper are drying up.
I know. I've been meaning to eat those. I'll get around to it.
Get around to it.
I will, man. Jeez. All right?
Or just eat Jack Link's jerky. Smoked, seasoned. Some real meat would do you a lot of good, Tim. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Official meat snack of NASCAR. Feed your wild side.
You've never been one to idly watch someone else do something for you. There's pride in self-reliance, in working with your hands, in harnessing the power of an E3 spark plug with Diamond Fire technology, yielding better engine performance. You have a choice to make. Take control of your ride, of your life, or be the passenger princess of it. Visit e3sparkplugs.com to put the power in your hands.
Back at the Talladega Superspeedway, continuing under the red flag. Cars remain stopped on the back straightaway, while many of the wounded cars remain idle on the pit lane. Crews looking them over and putting a plan together to try to get those cars put back together once the caution flag comes back out. We are under the red because of some damage to the safer wall just to the exit of the tri-oval here at Talladega, a couple 100 yards shy of the start-finish line. Let's hear from one of the drivers involved in the incident at the Care Center with Brad Gilley.
Ryan Sieg has been checked and released from the infield care center. Definitely not something you wanted to have happen, especially with the fast forward out here today. But what did you see from your windshield? And, man, it looked like that pretty much took away the front end of your car.
Yeah, I saw the 20 sideways and then 00 shot out of nowhere, and the lawn just plowed them. Yeah, it just sucks. It's just too early. We haven't finished one of these speedway races, I don't think, all year. And this is where we usually excel, and I thought we were in the right spot. Right where we needed to be, third or fourth in line on the top, just kind of marching forward, and then I guess just a little heavy pushing, it looked like, I guess, and then just got loose. But it's definitely out of control. It's just the heat. I don't know what, they were definitely a handful. Everybody's was, but that's why I tried to be on my P's and Q's about the pushes and just tried to do them as easy as possible. So I didn't get somebody sideways, but is what it is. So we had a fast psyops forward, just move on to Martinsville.
All right, tough early exit for Ryan Sieg.
Usually runs well here as top five finishes at the Talladega Superspeedway, but won't get number 6 here today. Unfortunately, his race will fall short, just 17 laps in. Now let's take a look at a full field rundown under the red. Here's how they're running. Brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, official partner of NASCAR. Fans of fast get real unlimited data on reliable 5G with no contracts or hidden fees. Now at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless.
Leading at the moment under the red flag, timing and scoring has Nick Sanchez at the front of the field. Austin Hill second. Jesse Love third. William Sawalich is fourth. And Justin Allgaier is fifth. Eric Almirola sixth. Connor Mosak is seventh. Christian Eckes is 8th, Carson Kvapil 9th, and Daniel Dye is 10th.
Taylor Gray, after starting this race at the back of the field after mechanical issues during qualifying earlier with the transmission, is up to 11th. Dean Thompson, 12th, Sammy Smith, 13th, Connor Zilic in 14th, and Blaine Perkins in 15th, Josh Williams in 16th, Garrett Smithley in 17th, Mason Maggio in 18th. Then it's going to be Parker Retzloff in 19th, and Leland Honeyman, 20th.
21st is Joey Gase, 22nd is Nick Lights, Brennan Poole, 23rd, Ryan Ellis, 24th, Cesar Baccarella is 25th, David Starr, 26th, Kyle Sieg, 27th, Harrison Burton is 28th, Jeb Burton, 29th, Carson Ware is being scored 30th.
And everybody else out of the event due to damage or at least on the pit lane: Sheldon Creed 31st, Ryan Sieg 32nd, Brendan Queen 33rd, Jeremy Clements 34th, Anthony Alfredo 35th. Then it was Sam Mayer and Jordan Anderson, the running order. As we continue to sit under the red flag, work continues here to the safer barrier just below us in the tri-oval.
Everybody just simply having to sit and wait. So let's go to pit lane and talk with Jason Toy.
And Jason Trincherry is the crew chief down here for Sam Mayer, and as he continues to look things over real quick and talk things over with his team, they've got a game plan laid out here for him to get this car back. All right, Jason, first off, how bad's the race car? What do you guys got to do to try to get as many points as you can?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. We're just trying to work on it as much as we could. I don't know what we'll have, but right now the toe is a big issue, so I'm hoping we don't blow a tire out, to be honest with you. So we're going to try working on that, but I don't want to go another lap down either, so we'll see if we can get it. If not, we'll go another lap down and work on it.
There you go, the crew chief, Jason Trincherry, here for Sam Mayer. And, you know, that left front tire looks pretty straight. That right front skewed out about 25 degrees out to the right than what it needs to be. So we're going to have to do a little bit more work to get this thing to go straight for Sam a little bit later on.
All right, thank you very much, Jason, down on the pit lane as we go back to the care center and hear from Jeremy Clements.
Jeremy Clements is out, and I know a tough day for you to see your car sitting in the garage. What happened, and how extensive is the damage to your race car?
I don't really know, Brad. It's really disheartening to be standing here with you after I don't even know how many laps we ran. So, really short race, didn't get to do much, just right there in the middle of the pack, going back and forth in different lanes, seeing what our all South Electric Chevy would do and try to be as fast as Xfinity Internet. So we didn't really get to get going, and that sucks. But yeah, we were missing the left front brake rotor is missing about half of it, so I didn't have any brakes. So that kind of ended our day there.
All right, tough day for Jeremy Clements after lap 15.
It is the Spartanburg, South Carolina native. He's in position, should he be able to continue to race this year and into next, to set the all-time record for most starts in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. If all goes well, that should happen in the summer of next season. It is difficult for these teams down there, Steve Post, because we're just simply sitting here waiting on work to come to completion on the wall right in front of you.
Yeah, and Sheldon Creed's car has gone back to the garage, and they're wrapping up operations down here as far as the pit road and the pit booth go. My understanding is the hit was so hard for Sheldon Creed to knock the radio out of the car. That was a big hit. Okay, you mentioned the crew guys down here. I'm standing here watching the Brendan Jones pit area. The car sits here. There's two crew members to the left side on their hands and knees, just ready to go. One guy at the front with a big old piece of tape. He's got that tape 6 inches off from the front grille, just waiting for the red flag to be pulled for us to go green. Around to the right side of the automobile, there's another guy on his knees on the right rear, just waiting to tend to the damage over there. Sam McCauley has done a wonderful job laying this out. They've actually taken pictures up from under the car to see what the damage is. You can't touch the car, but you can take pictures of it, and they've got a plan in place. They're just waiting for the red flag to be pulled, for that yellow flag to come out, and they can start putting the tape and putting the wrenches and putting everything on this car. So it's fascinating to watch how they prepare, and yet nothing can happen either. It's kind of two things going on at one time, but they're ready to spring into action when we go back under caution.
And as a crew chief, you like kind of the red flag because it gives you that time to digest what your car needs and to look at it. Take these pictures, talk your way through it. The other part is when they withdraw the red, that's when everybody starts to start up and roll. It's going to buy them some more time before the pace car can get back around. It gives them a better shot to get this car fixed up as they continue to work their way forward.
Because when the caution does come out, not everybody rolls at once. It takes a couple of moments to fire the cars back up and for the pace car to gain speed, which is now currently sitting on the back straightaway. And Alex, it looks like it's going to be at least a couple of more moments for these teams to kind of put a plan together on the pit lane. I see the welder in full effect down against the outside safer wall, and let's see, 4 safety trucks and about 10 to 12 guys trying to apply this repair.
And again, we have to give a hearty nod and our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Dean Sicking and his entire team at the University of Nebraska. Dr. Dean Sicking, the recipient of the Landmark Award for outstanding contributions to NASCAR at the NASCAR Hall of Fame for his invention of the steel and foam energy reduction wall. Safer Barrier is that acronym there. And Dave Moody, that has been something we hope we've never had to use, but by golly, when these drivers have gotten into the Safer Barrier, we are so thankful for it.
That's for sure. You're happy to have it when the rare occasion comes when you need it. And for after a lick like that by Sheldon Creed, he's feeling a whole lot better right now than he would have back in the days when it was just concrete walls, for sure. Safer Barriers, we'll never know how many lives they've saved or how many injuries they've prevented, but I'm thinking it's probably a fairly large number at this point.
And those repairs continue here on the front straightaway to the Safer Barrier. And now all that safety team begins to head back to their trucks. So looks like the repairs are about complete here on the front stretch as we go back to the Care Center.
Brendan Queen out of his race car. It's been a big week for you, Butterbean, because we found out about the truck ride with Ram next year, and you get to run Xfinity races for Kaulig, but unfortunately this one was cut a little bit short. We saw a big 3-wide pack. How crazy was it out there?
Yeah, I felt like I was in the middle of the whole stage there, and there was a moment I thought, man, I don't really like being 3 wide, because I figured it was going to get crazy, but everybody was kind of minding their business, and that's what I was talking about. It was just something out of my control there. I felt like I was doing a good job just logging laps, maintaining, and next thing I know, we had I think the lap car up top there, and whoever was on my bottom just started moving up like I wasn't there, and then I ran right into 00 when he was in the wall, so it was just nowhere to go. And super proud of the speed we had. The Kaulig Racing Action Industries car was fast, and I'm just so proud of them. Thanks for the opportunity from Matt Kaulig and Chris Rice. I mean, the last thing I want to do is wreck their race car, so that's tough. But thanks to them building a safe car, and we'll be ready to go at Martinsville to try to get a clock.
All right, there he is, Butterbean Queen out of the Care Center looking ahead.
Glad he is okay, like all the other drivers who are beginning to emerge from the infield Care Center from the hard crash here at the exit of the Tri-Oval. In a track, Todd, that is so dependent on friend relationships with teams and drivers, manufacturers. In this crash on lap number 17, there is now only one Ford Mustang left in the race that didn't get into this crash, and that's Kyle Sieg. That's a big problem if you're a Ford Motor Company right now.
Yeah, it is. It is. And that's part of what is a challenge of this race being in the round of 8 as it goes forward. It becomes so dependent on manufacturer mates and pieces like that. We'll see where this plays out, but definitely a tough go for the Blue Oval.
Red flag time, 16 minutes, 19 seconds as we go back under the caution flag, and we'll recap the drivers that are involved in the incident one more time. Sheldon Creed, Brendan Queen, Brandon Jones, Harrison Burton, Jeb Burton, Kyle Sieg, Jordan Anderson, Ryan Sieg, Sam Mayer, Anthony Alfredo, Jeremy Clements, and Ryan Ellis. 12 in total, all getting a piece of the incident here on the front straightaway. Work began on pit road almost immediately. Let's go there now, and Steve Post.
As a matter of fact, they are working on that car now. They've taken to that number 20 machine, the bright day-glow colored car, the highlighter green car of Brandon Jones, as they work their way. Connor Zilich is coming down pit road. This is a strategic call as well. So a couple of different things happening here as different pit stops are happening and working on race cars are happening as well. Jason, a whole lot going on down here. What's going on with you?
Sam Mayer finishing up work on his race car. They told him they got a minute left to get it back out on the racetrack here, and then the damage policy clock. Also in there is Jordan Anderson. He pulls away. We did see a pit stop from Dean Thompson. They came in and put on 4 fresh Racing Eagles and topped it off with Sunoco fuel. How about in front? Well, Brad's pit jack in the Care Center right now, but not too much down on the far end of pit road either.
Yeah, and you look at this opportunity here, at lap 18. This is within the fuel window to skip the stage break at the end of stage 1. You can get all the way to the end of stage 2. So a strategic move. If you're Connor Zilich, I think was 14th coming to pit road. These guys back here, taking the opportunity. They may flip the stage at the end of stage 1. Let's go to Brad Gilly back to Care Center.
Sheldon Creed, thankfully, out of the Infield Care Center. I think Steve Post described your car as it would be easier to say what is still straight on it, and that was the left front fender, but completely destroyed. What did you see happen, and how are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a couple laps before, if I were to do it over again, I wouldn't get myself to the bottom like I did, but yeah, it looked like the 27 kind of pushed me into the tri-oval and got me free, and then washed up the hill and got the 20 in the left rear that got me in the right rear. So, yeah, I don't know. Just when you're on the bottom, you I don't know. I don't know if he was fighting his car or whatever, but it's there's no really room to go up the track there. So, yeah, it's kind of the tough thing about having super speedways in the playoffs is if you're down bad and way below the cut line, you can get yourself in somehow maybe, but you lose a lot of control of your destiny coming to super speedways. So I guess that's the part I hate about it. But yeah, just appreciate Safe Race Cars from Haas Factory Team, Ford, Roush Yates Engines, Road Ranger, Pit Boss, Ollie's, Haas Automation, friends of Jacqueline, everyone that helps us. Yeah, it just kind of makes it simple for next week. Just go and try to win.
All right, Sheldon Creed's got one more shot to make the championship four next weekend at Martinsville.
And that's where he's going to essentially be in a must-win situation for Sheldon Creed. Mathematically right now, no, it's not must-win, but realistically it is. So that begs the question here, Todd. With Sheldon Creed out, as we sit, he's 28 points out of the cut line. Also involved in the crash, Brandon Jones. He's still running in the race right now. He's 12 points out. Sam Mayer came in above the cut line, but he too involved in the crash, -9. The question I have is, if you're the crew chief of a Carson Kvapil or a Sammy Smith, you're right hovering around that cut line with the competition now being out of the race or damaged. Does this change the way you approach the rest of this race?
I think it slightly would be my answer. I think you may become a slight bit more conservative, not to put yourself in jeopardy because you want to maintain the points cushion you've got over these guys, but scoring stage points, that will continue to stretch that lead over these guys. So you're going to want to keep yourself forward. It's kind of one of those cautiously aggressive situations where you want to not put yourself in a bad position. We heard Sheldon Creed talk about maybe I shouldn't have gone to the bottom the lap before. You're going to start thinking about those things, really kind of working that through with your spotter and trying to make sure you take advantage of this opportunity and score all the points you can today.
And you mentioned Sam Mayer a moment ago, one of the drivers involved in the crash. Well, his day just got a little bit worse. A 2-lap penalty for too many men over the wall during the DVP a moment ago. So getting some damage in the incident and now having to sit for 2 laps being penalized.
Yeah, but I think that they'll happily take that penalty as long as they had enough hands on deck to try to get the car where it can at least get back on the track. Now, if you're involved in that crash, which, as Kyle pointed out, 12 drivers were, those who were able to continue on, it's not all complete as of yet from the crash. You have to get back out onto the track. Green flag will go in the air this time by. Then you have to go around and you have to meet a minimum speed that NASCAR predetermines before the race. If you meet that minimum speed, you're golden. You can continue on and race. You can even come back to pit road and work on your car as much as you need to, should that be the case. If you do not meet that minimum speed, NASCAR will give you a couple of laps to do so. If you do not meet it, they will black flag you. Your race will be over.
Drivers have already selected their lane for the restart. In fact, the pace truck on pit road, field in the tri-oval, a 5-lap shootout to the end of stage number 1. Nick Sanchez, Austin Hill, front row inside and out. Then it's William Sawalich, second car in lane on the bottom. Jesse Love giving a push to Hill to the outside lane as they go to 1.
And they are virtually side by side into the 33-degree banking of turn number 1. Top 10, 12 rows all bunched up. Then things spacing out a little bit further back. Side by side for the lead off turn 2.
Everybody now coming up to speed up the back straightaway. Austin Hill on the outside lane. He's got Jesse Love tucked up right behind him. So is Justin Allgaier. Those top 3 break away for a moment and go to the lead.
And here comes Jesse Love. Will go from the outside lane to follow his teammate Austin Hill to the bottom lane. So it's RCR 1-2 with Austin Hill leading the train on the inside. First car to the outside, Justin Allgaier. Here goes Jesse Love to the top to block the 7.
He did. Rolled up there, and Jesse Love's RCR teammate Austin Hill, The race leader, he also went high to get in front of his teammate. Leaves the bottom lane wide open. Nick Sanchez is there. The second lane goes along. Now, Dave, the third lane takes form.
Third lane begins to materialize upstairs. That's where Carson Kvapil is. I'm not sure he's there by choice, but they kind of wedged their way underneath him. It's a 3-wide battle for third.
Didn't take long for them to get 3 wide. Carson Kvapil in the third lane up against the outside wall. Justin Allgaier is in the second lane in the middle. Downstairs is Nick Sanchez. The leader, though, off the end of the back straightaway is Austin Hill.
Outside lane starting to get the momentum just a little bit with Austin Hill leading that with Carson Kvapil in tow. He's got his Junior Motorsports teammate in Connor Zilic there as well, as they're 3 wide from second on back. Now make it 2 wide as Carson Kvapil now will try to challenge for the top spot.
Austin Hill will maintain the race lead. Hill trying to block both lanes, top side and middle lane. Kvapil side by side with Jesse Love for the second spot. Kvapil's second car in line topside as Love pulls the bottom.
Jesse Love trying to pull that bottom line forward. He is side by side now with Carson Kvapil for position number 2. For the moment, they'll have to be content to follow Austin Hill.
Austin Hill trying to make his white and blue Chevy as wide as he can right now. He is attempting to keep Carson Kvapil and Jesse Love at bay behind him. Here is Jesse Love looking to the outside, almost puts Kvapil in the wall in turn 3.
We got a huge shot from Justin Allgaier to turn 3. Sends Jesse Love up that 33 degrees of banking. Now running that outside lane, he'll have Carson Kvapil to his back deck list, and now all by himself is Austin Hill.
Hill has the lead in his blue and white Chevrolet. He's going to run that third lane right now. Justin Allgaier, he's downstairs in lane number 2. He's side by side with his Junior Motorsports teammate Carson Kvapil for the third spot.
Carson Kvapil running top side right now. They are 2 by 2, just one car in the middle, and that car's going backward very quickly, as they generally do when you're all by yourself. Austin Hill, tried to throw a big block on Jesse Love and didn't get it done.
And Jesse Love now pulls even for a moment with the leader, Austin Hill. Drag racing down the back straightaway. Give the advantage to Hill in turn 3.
The problem Jesse Love has on the bottom is he didn't have any help going into turn 3, but now here comes Connor Zilic, who will dip his Chevrolet to the bottom side. Austin Hill still has the lead. He'll go to the top to block Jesse Love. Jesse Love now back to the bottom as they race off 4.
And remember, it wasn't a couple of laps ago that Connor Zilic was on the pit lane, back into the top 5 right now, challenging for the lead, challenging for second, pulls up alongside Jesse Love for the runner-up spot as we enter the final lap of stage 1.
Here they come into turn number 2 a lap ago. A near disaster for the Richard Childress Racing teammates as the ill-timed block nearly caused contact. This time around, clean and green, Austin Hill leading the way.
Jesse Love has been kicked into that second lane in the middle. He throws a big block on Carson Kvapil and moves up to the outside. At the front of the pack, it is Austin Hill. New second-place driver Connor Zilic. Justin Allgaier racing Love for third.
Stage points up for grabs here at the final lap of stage number 1. Austin Hill trying to make that car 3 lanes wide. He continues to roll the bottom. Allgaier is going to run the outside lane with his teammate Connor Zilic to the inside.
Back to the tri-oval. Final time, stage number 1. Third lane is where race leader Austin Hill is. Now the second. Now the first lane. Hill blocking all lanes. Green and white checkered flag is out. Stage number 1 comes to an end, and Austin Hill picks up the stage win. Justin Allgaier will finish second. Jesse Love will be third. Connor Zilic will be fourth. Eric Almirola fifth. Sammy Smith sixth. Blaine Perkins from the back of the field finishes stage 1 seventh. Dean Thompson was eighth. Carson Kvapil ninth, and William Sawalich rounds out the top 10.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in a Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Working caution for the second time in today's United Rentals 250 with a NASCAR Xfinity Series. This caution for the end of stage number 1, which was won by Austin Hill. From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 Tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. The race off from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com.
Looking for motorsports coverage you can't find anywhere else? Look no further than the Motor Racing Network's lineup of weekly podcasts. NASCAR news and interviews on NASCAR Live and NASCAR Live Wide Open. NASCAR Cup Series Insight on Crew Call. NASCAR Grassroots Racing News and Talk on NASCAR Coast to Coast. And Sprint Car Talk on Wing Nation. All these and more available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
The Motor Racing Network and Ally Bank have partnered to honor women in motorsports. This week, we highlight ARCA Menard Series driver Isabella Robusto for her contributions in motorsports.
For me, I always loved engineering and designing things, and especially like 3D printing and CAD and all of that. And I felt like aerospace kind of covered a little bit of all, and it was really good for kind of the racing side, especially working with the engineers week in and week out on the simulators, at the shop, whatever it might be. So I feel like it just helps kind of with the terminology with them, but also it's just something that I want to have as a college degree too.
The Motor Racing Network honoring women in motorsports was brought to you by Ally Bank. No matter what you are saving for, whether it be race tickets, a car, or a new home, you need the bank that's your ally. Ally Bank, member FDIC.
Pit stops will be coming up here shortly. Pit lane remains closed as the field just went by the opening to pit road. So let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Motor Racing Network is live at Talladega Superspeedway, the NASCAR Xfinity Series running the United Rentals 250. My name is Alex Hayden alongside in the broadcast booth. To my right is Kyle Rickey. To my left, NASCAR Cup Series Championship winning crew chief Todd Gordon. Turns 1 and 2 is Dave Moody. On the Alabama Gang Super Stretch is Tim Cattle-Famo. On the party porch in turn 4, that's Chris Wilner. And up and down the pit lane are Steve Post, Jason Toy, and Brad Gilly.
We've had 4 different leaders and 6 lead changes in the early laps of today's race. 2 cautions for 7 laps. The first of those yellows due to a multi-car incident here at the exit of the Tri-Oval, collecting about a dozen cars, including several playoff contenders, including Sam May, Brandon Jones, and Sheldon Creed, all suffered damage in that incident. As we get set for pit stops here, who will head to pit road to end lap number 28, and will we see some of the drivers that stayed or pitted earlier stay out now? Here they come onto the pit lane as pit road is open, and we'll begin our round of pit stops with Brad.
Well, William Sawalich will hit the mark on the far end. Also making stops, Taylor Gray, who started at the back of the pack, went towards the front. Middle section of pit road, Eric Almirola is going to come in. 4 Tires Sunoco Fuel, tear off the windshield. Playoff contender Sammy Smith. Quiet afternoon for him. The Pilot Chevrolet slow on the right rear for them. They're going to lose some spots on pit road here for Sammy Smith. Steve Post.
4 Tires Sunoco Racing Fuel air pressure adjustment for Carson Quapple. 4 Tires Sunoco Racing Fuel for Justin Allgaier. Fuel only stop for Connor Zillich. Remember, he was in on lap number 18. Christian Eckes getting 4 Tires Sunoco Racing Fuel down and away. These pit stops, the end of stage number 1.
Big moment for Jesse Love as he was trying to exit the pit lane. He was all the way to driver's right exiting. A car pulled out in front of him. He had to put the right side Goodyears out on the grass, kick some of that up, but was able to get the car back on the pavement as pit stops wrap up here on lap number 28.
So you're a Toyota Cup driver and you just made it to the playoffs. Now all you have to do is win. Easy. Just turn left, right? That and start strong, take off, reach 200 miles per hour, maintain a good position, no big deal, lap again, time your pit stops, steer clear of accidents, talk to your crew chief like your best friend, and most importantly, turn left. Easy, right? You in? Get up to speed at tgrna.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, 50 Years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Dean Thompson stayed on the racetrack. He'll inherit the race lead. Kyle Sieg did the same. Kyle Sieg will be second. Joey Gase third. Ryan Ellis fourth. And Brennan Poole rounds out the top five. Those drivers did not make a stop this time by. From Talladega Super Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Drivers, start your engines!
Your home for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Green flag goes in the air, and we are underway.
On the NASCAR Racing Network.
2 by 2 by 2. They're about 10 rows deep of double wide racing. Taylor Gray to the bottom. Nick Sanchez outside, and they're crashing mid-pack.
It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
We welcome you back to Talladega Super Speedway, a perfect day to go racing with the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Don't forget, tomorrow the NASCAR Cup Series will race here at Talladega in the Yellowwood 500. Motor Racing Network will be live with you at 1 o'clock Eastern Time with NASCAR Live Race Day to get you set for tomorrow's big race.
Michael McDowell winning the pole earlier this afternoon for tomorrow's event over Chase Briscoe. Kyle Busch and Austin Cindric will make up row 2. Ryan Preece, Josh Berry in row 3, then Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, Riley Herbst, and Bubba Wallace, the top 10 starters for tomorrow's afternoon's NASCAR Cup Series event for the Yellowwood 500. And a big congratulations to Seekonk, Massachusetts native Gio Ruggiero, picking up his first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series win in our weekend opener for the trucks here last night at Talladega. So congratulations to Gio and that entire Tricon Garage race team.
It was a thriller winning the Love's RV Stop 225. And Gio, not a playoff driver, but still going out and trying to win a race is huge, especially your first career win, and getting it here at the Talladega Super Speedway is something he'll never forget.
Yeah, and this is a guy that, as a rookie in the Truck Series, has done a great job this year, continuing to get more savvy in the truck program, and really had a solid truck all day long. Took great pushes, teamwork, and put himself in victory lane.
Started his career at the Seekonk Speedway in Seekonk, Massachusetts, and quickly climbed the late model and super late model ladder. Now finds himself in the national spotlight, and no doubt will be a contender within years to come in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and I guess with the ultimate goal of running a cup car one day. As the field here today, the NASCAR Xfinity Series teams begin to choose their lane for the restart here, coming up in less than one lap from now, and some newer names at the front of the field that we'll tell you about in a moment. But first, we'll go back to the Care Center in Brad.
Sam Mayer came into this race 8 points above the cut line. Right now, you're trending at -5, but I know you guys were trying to get the car fixed to get back out there. What ultimately took you out?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing was just not making the DVP clock. It's definitely unfortunate because I feel like we could have been just fine and actually out there racing right now.
but it just wasn't in the cards for us today. But just really proud of everyone at Haas Factory team. They did a great job getting the car fixed. We were just a little bit short on time to get it all the way done, but yeah, the car was really fast. Really proud of everyone. It was as fast as Xfinity Mobile up until it wasn't. But yeah, just really proud. But we're going to take that Ford Mustang to Martinsville and go get a grandfather clock, and we'll be just fine.
All right, tough early exit for Sam Mayer. Tough day for Haas Factory teams as well.
So he talked about not making the DVP clock. In the Truck Series and Xfinity Series, the rule book is still the same as it was last year for Cup. They've not adjusted that. You have a specified amount of time on pit road. Now, that clock stops when the red flag comes out because you can't work on your car, but you have to get your car repairs done within that time. If you can't get it done within that time, in Cup, you can go back to the garage and work on it, come back out. Xfinity, your day's over if you're not done in that amount of time.
That is time on pit road and the time that it takes you to get back at least one lap minimum speed, but not going to matter here today for Sam Mayer. As we get set to go back under the green flag, Dean Thompson and Kyle Sieg making up the front row. Some new faces at the point. Dean Thompson gets a big shove from Jesse Love as they go back to turn number 1 on the restart to begin stage 2.
Jesse Love, the closest to the front of the drivers that were able to take advantage during the caution flag period. He has already shoved his way to the second spot. Sieg with the lead. Love in second. Connor Zilic to third.
Everyone now really starting to change it up as they hit the back straightaway. Dean Thompson has been put in the middle with no drafting assistance. On the top side of the racetrack, it's Jesse Love and Connor Zilic leading the pack to 3.
Dean Thompson with the parachute will have to fall all the way back outside the top 5 before Kyle Sieg picks him up. Meanwhile, the outside bullet train being led by Jesse Love and Austin Hill make that Connor Zilic run 1-2 and Taylor Gray in third.
Here they come back into the shaded tri-oval at the Talladega Super Speedway. Jesse Love with the Whelen Engineering colors, the red and white Camaro at the front of the field, stacked up single file the first 8 cars.
Here they come all in line up next to the safer barrier in the 3-wide line. That leaves the bottom wide open, and there will be a couple of takers led by Sammy Smith, who charges up that low line.
Sammy Smith is down there in that low line. You can also throw Nick Sanchez into that mix along with the Christian Eckes Chevrolet. Now Eckes jumps up to the high lane, leaving just Sammy Smith and Nick Sanchez down low.
Smith kind of ran up the racetrack trying to side draft going into turn 3 as he continues to try to organize the bottom lane. Now up in the race for the lead. Here comes Connor Zilic dipping down low. He'll slide across the nose of Jesse Love. You got a new leader. It's Connor Zilic.
Connor Zilic right to the bottom of the racetrack off of turn number 4 to the inside. Makes the pass on Jesse Love for the lead and then tucks back into line just in front of Jesse, who falls to the second spot. Then it's Austin Hill, Taylor Gray, and Justin Allgaier.
And once again, that lead draft, that lead single file line way up next to the outside safer barrier. Still trying to lead the charge down low. Sammy Smith with drafting help from Nick Sanchez and others.
There's about 5 or 6 cars that are trying to get that inside lane moving. They just do not have the cars count or the momentum right now. Up front, here is Jesse Love and Austin Hill going for the lead.
Love pulls to the inside at Connor Zilic. He'll get a shot in the shorts from Austin Hill and move Jesse Love back to the lead in turn number 4. Now Zilic picking up Taylor Gray on the outside, but it's Love and Austin Hill off 4.
They are strong together at the bottom side of the racetrack, all the Richard Childress Racing Chevrolets. Hill now in second, goes up the track to try to put a block on. Sammy Smith had thoughts of it. That's going to shuffle the cards. Now 3 wide for the second spot with Nick Sanchez downstairs.
Nick Sanchez on the bottom, in the middle, trying to fight his way through is Sammy Smith. Those lower 2 lines have made the move forward. Austin Hill going backward in the 3-wide lane.
All of a sudden, the outside lane is not where you want to be. Everyone has either migrated to that middle lane or down to the bottom against the double yellow line. That's where the leader, Jesse Love, runs. Nick Sanchez second, Christian Eckes third.
Yeah, Jesse Love just trying to figure out which lane is more organized. Right now it is on the bottom side of the racetrack here at the north end of Talladega Super Speedway. It's Love, Nick Sanchez, and just as I say that, both of those cars migrate to the top to pick up Sammy Smith.
Just in front of Sammy Smith in third, and that'll leave leading on the bottom Christian Eckes. He'll pull that inside lane and not have a whole lot of drafting help. Daniel Dye is down there, and that's about it. Just 2 or 3 cars on the inside as the outside lane advances, led by Jesse Love.
More problems for playoff contender Brandon Jones last time. He's gone from well off the pace with a damaged car from that earlier crash to severely off the pace. He may be headed for pit road as the pack steams to the backstretch.
Here come the leaders halfway down the Alabama Gang super stretch. It is Jesse Love, the top car. Nick Sanchez, a fellow Chevrolet driver in the runner-up spot. Sammy Smith in third.
And Smith will now pull from the outside lane down to the bottom of the racetrack. So Sammy Smith and his Chevrolet going to pick up Jesse Love, the leader. Love now will shadow what Sammy Smith just did, which is go to the top and leave the outside lane.
Playoff contender Brandon Jones damaging a crash earlier, back on the pit lane as the lead draft goes by. It's Jesse Love up front. New challenger on the inside lane. That's Christian Eckes. He's up to the second spot looking for more.
Eckes in a side-by-side battle for that number 2 position. He's about a half a car width up off that double yellow line. Looking to pick up some drafting help. He will now from Justin Allgaier.
One car that is also continuing to make its way forward. Third in line in the middle this time on the backstretch is the Eric Almirola Toyota Supra. He is 1 car length behind Justin Allgaier. Allgaier giving Christian Eckes some assistance.
But Tim, the numbers still favor the outside lane as Jesse Love will take his red and white Chevrolet now from the top down to the bottom to pick up Christian Eckes. Jesse Love driving out of the rearview mirror here as he continues to block Eckes now to the top.
Richard Childress Racing has been so strong on these drafting style tracks, winning 3 of the 5 races run thus far this season. Out front now with Jesse Love. We have seen Austin Hill up there. Christian Eckes right now just behind Jesse Love for the lead, along with Sammy Smith as they go back to turn 1.
Sammy Smith did a good bit of work running the bottom when very few were willing to do so. He dives low. He'll move under Eckes. He'll take the second spot. Gets the door slammed in his face by Jesse Love.
Jesse Love making some very quick, evasive maneuvers, trying to keep this hungry pack of cars behind him. Here is Love blocking left and blocking right to keep Sammy Smith in the rearview mirror.
Sammy Smith got a nice bump from the Christian Eckes machine, who now gets shucked to the outside lane because Austin Hill making his presence felt back up toward the top 5 as Connor Zilic now enters the chat for third. Here comes his teammate Justin Allgaier to the inside.
That means Junior Motorsports occupy second, third, and fourth in the Tri-Oval. That may change because here comes Christian Eckes in the Colleague Racing Chevrolet. Stacked up 2 by 2 through the whole field with the exception of the race leader.
Christian Eckes trying to bounce back and get into that battle for the lead. He's got a little bit of work to do. He's third on the bottom. Jesse Love again shoots up the banking to put the block on Sammy Smith. That leaves the door open for Justin Allgaier.
Justin Allgaier, clear racetrack in front of him for the moment, about a car length behind Jesse Love. Now Allgaier getting some help from Christian Eckes. Allgaier now pulling even with Jesse Love for the top spot.
Another strong move. This time it's Little Gator to the inside as Allgaier races Jesse Love through turns 3 and 4. It's all bow ties at the front of the field. Top 5 are Chevrolets, including your battle for the lead with Allgaier to the inside of Jesse Love.
Here they come off of turn number 4, side by side for the lead at Talladega. Justin Allgaier to the inside of Jesse Love for the top spot, but as they get to the line, it's Love by 13 thousandths of a second over Allgaier, Eckes, Sammy Smith, and Nick Sanchez.
United Rentals is proud to sponsor the United Rentals 250 at Talladega Superspeedway. With the most comprehensive equipment fleet in North America, backed by a team of industry experts, United Rentals is ready to deliver customized solutions for whatever your project demands. United Rentals is more than an equipment rental provider. They are a full-service partner for safe, productive, and sustainable job sites. United Rentals, building a better future together.
NASCAR fans, get ready to feel the rush. The official NASCAR Tracks app is your ultimate race day companion. From managing your event tickets to navigating with wayfinding maps, event schedules, and facility info, it's got everything you need to make your experience unforgettable.
Ready, green flag, green
Bring
flag.
your headphones and dive into the action like never before with live scanner access.
Got a race to win, my man.
Listen in on driver and team communications at select NASCAR Tracks. Download NASCAR Tracks now on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Jesse Love was the race leader last time by. Justin Allgaier this time by becomes the 7th different leader here this afternoon in the United Rentals 250. From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
We are under the green flag.
Listen up, NASCAR fans. Now's the time to turn your love of racing into big-time prizes. Because NASCAR Fantasy Live is your fast lane to bragging rights.
Furious racing here.
Pick 5 drivers each week of the season. Then complete additional challenges to stack points. All for your shot at the grand prize.
So let's get this party started.
For official rules and to learn more, visit NASCAR.com/fantasy and sign up today.
We are the voice of NASCAR.
The green flag is in the air, and we are underway. The Great American Race.
The Motor Racing Network. NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Craftsman Truck Series Racing live on your hometown radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com. Martinsville, Talladega, the Chicago Street Course. We have the side-by-side action and last lap passes for the win.
Photo finishes. Ryan Blaney will win.
The voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
Continuing under the green flag at the Talladega Superspeedway, 8 laps to go in Stage 2. Justin Allgaier continues to show the way over Austin Hill. Nick Sanchez.
Ricky, problems for the Taylor Gray machine, who was once in the top 5, is now coming to a very slow roll down on the inside of turn number 4. He looks like he's going to make his way to pit road, but the driver who started from the back of the field in the top 3 now making his way down to pit lane.
Remember, he had issues in qualifying earlier today with a transmission issue, forced that team to start at the back of the field, and now more issues here in the race. 7 laps shy of the finish of stage number 2. Taylor Gray has made his way to the pit lane.
As we run the Xfinity Series in the United Rentals 250, want to welcome to the broadcast Jeremy Fountain, Director of Marketing for United Rentals. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks, guys. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for being here yet again this year. Why did United Rentals decide to partner up with NASCAR and Talladega Superspeedway?
So United Rentals looks for partnerships where we can really align with an organization on our values and what we do as a company. And we really found that with NASCAR. That checked a lot of boxes for us. A definite focus on customers and fans, their experience, the quality of the product that they deliver, and, of course, a focus on safety. And those things are all very important to us. In terms of the Talladega race, obviously iconic track, legendary facility, always great racing. Here we are at the second-to-last weekend in the playoffs. So always a good time, and as an added bonus for us, Austin Hill will be in the United Rentals number 33 Chevy on Sunday for the Cup race tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be a big race for Austin Hill and Richard Childress Racing. Now, big news with United Rentals and NASCAR earlier this week, as United Rentals is now the newest official NASCAR Impact partner. Tell us all about that.
Trouble going into turn number 1. 3 cars go piling up and into the outside wall toward the tail end of the lead draft as they had just crossed the start-finish line. Dave Moody, do you see who has some damage from this latest contact? It looks like William Sawalich being one of them.
William Sawalich is indeed one of them. The Dean Thompson machine is involved in it as well. Hard to tell the other car because it is so badly torn up down on the apron. Hood up, doors torn off. Hard to get a number at this distance.
Multiple cars involved in the crash as they work around. Connor Mozak is involved in the crash as well, as we continue our visit with Jeremy Fountain, the Director of Marketing from United Rentals. We were talking about this week the big news and the big announcement becoming the official NASCAR Impact partner with NASCAR.
Yeah, we're very excited about this. I think in our years with working with NASCAR, one of the things that we really noticed is that we're both very committed to the communities where we sort of live and work and operate our businesses. And that community-mindedness led us to looking for a way that we could amplify that with our partnership. And that's what led us to Impact. And so what we're doing there is we're focusing on disaster recovery and response and veteran engagement with an organization called Team Rubicon, which is just a really terrific nonprofit organization that deploys all over North America, all 50 states, and as well as internationally to respond to crises and disasters.
So why was Team Rubicon selected to be the beneficiary?
The veteran component was a really important piece of that for us. United Rentals is honored and proud to be recognized as a military-friendly and veteran-focused employer. And that's things like veteran engagement, veteran employment, helping veterans with new opportunities. And we could tie that together with something that's also really important, and that's disaster recovery and response. Those are the things that you truly can't always prepare for, and communities need a lot of support to react to. And Team Rubicon, through their volunteer group, which they call Gray Shirts, deploys to these disasters, oftentimes first on the scene to help out when things are really pretty dicey locally. And we just thought, wow, we could put ourselves together with NASCAR, get behind Rubicon, and pardon the pun, but add a little more horsepower to what they're doing.
Well said. How can NASCAR fans and others support the great work Team Rubicon is doing?
Sure. So Team Rubicon is a charity nonprofit organization. So, of course, donations are important to what they do. But in addition, the volunteers, those Gray Shirts, are also really critical to their operation because they are the front line. So you can visit unitedrentals.com/NASCAR Impact and learn more about how we're working together. You can make a donation if you so desire, but you can also sign up to be a volunteer, which is really important opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you to you and your entire team for all the great stuff you're doing away from the racetrack, but also putting on another fantastic race here.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Jeremy Fountain, Director of Marketing with United Rentals.
And for the second time today, we have gone under the red flag here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Leland Honeyman getting into contact with Harrison Burton in turn number 1, which triggered the incident. Honeyman went around, and Steve Post, Connor Zilic, the first hiccup this team has seen in about 18 weeks. On the pit lane with some damage.
It's been an amazing run. It really, truly is. The last hiccup, ironically, was here at Talladega Superspeedway with a last lap crash. So he's brought the car down. It's the blue, gray, and white First Bank Chevrolet, and the damage is really isolated to the right front of the car. And they have worked on it. They've put a lot of tape over the hood of the race car, over the right front fender of the race car, and crew members are now with the saws out there. They're just looking to make sure they've got good clearance. Now, we have gone under the red flag, as you guys referenced, so they cannot work on the car, but Marty Lindley getting a look through the eyes of his crew members and putting a plan together on what they're going to do to get the Connor Zilic car buttoned up. It looks solid as far as the shape, the contour of everything looks like it's still in pretty good shape from what we can see from the front of the car, but they're really working on massaging and getting real smooth placement of tape along the right front of the Connor Zilic automobile.
This hasn't been the best of tracks for Connor Zilic. He was leading on the last lap here at Talladega earlier this spring when he was involved in a crash, hit the inside wall on the Alabama Gang Superstretch head on, had a fracture in his back, was forced to sit out the following week's race at Texas Motor Speedway. However, that was something that became the motivator, if you will. He had not finished worse than 5th since then. Go all the way back to Charlotte Motor Speedway in the month of May, where he finished 2nd. That kicked off a string of top 5s. That is 18 consecutive, which is a new all-time record in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And, Kyle, they're going to have to make some diagnosis down there and make sure that car is good enough to continue that streak here today.
9 of those were wins, and we saw Connor Zilic come onto the pit lane earlier this afternoon during the first caution of the day. Pitted, came back up through the field, so we'll see how strong that car is and how much damage there is to it as the crew continues to diagnose some of the damage and put a plan together to put that car back together once the red flag is lifted. William Sawalich also involved in the incident. Connor Mosack, Dean Thompson among the drivers that got damage due to our second multi-car incident of the day, this time up in turn number 1, and it puts us under the red flag for the second time the field has come to a stop over on the back straightaway.
Yeah, it is, and we're only 5 laps shy of the conclusion of stage number 2, so NASCAR is certainly going to want to give these drivers every opportunity to race it out for those valuable stage points. As we look at the points and where they sit at the moment, Justin Allgaier, the leader of the race, a win, you're automatically into the round of, or I should say the Championship 4 at Championship Saturday at Phoenix Raceway. You've got Connor Zilic, 73 points to the good. 30 points to the good for Jesse Love as they sit right now. And Sammy Smith is +5. Drivers on the outside looking in. You've got the car of Carson Kvapil, 5 points out. Sam Maris, 22 out. Brandon Jones, 27 points behind. And Sheldon Creed, 44 points behind, keeping in mind both Creed and Mayer are out of today's race. Brandon Jones still competing, but his car's got some damage from an earlier crash.
Connor Zilic being 73 points up in pretty good shape right now. That would all but lock him into the Championship 4, and why not with the season that team hasn't had an incident since that last lap crash here at the Talladega Superspeedway back in April. Missed an event, and oh, by the way, Kyle Larson won with that car at the missed event at the Texas Motor Speedway. Connor got back in the car a week later and has finished top 5 in each of the 18 races since. On pit road right now with some damage due to the latest incident up in turn 1.
Kyle Larson brings his Chevy in 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market, performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR.
You stop here for Ryan Blaney, 4 tires with Sunoco fuel.
From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale Show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by STP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Red flag still waving from the starter stand as cleanup continues in turn number 2. Should be a relatively quick caution once we put the yellow back out because NASCAR officials want to end this second stage under the green flag with at least a few green flag laps for these drivers to race it out to the end of this second stage. From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options now available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-375-3232. 800-375-3232. That's 800-375-3232. National Debt Relief, the official debt relief partner of NASCAR.
Help our children survive and thrive.
.49 laps to go here at the Talladega Superspeedway in the United Rentals 250. 5 laps to go here in stage number 2 as cleanup is about buttoned up over in turn number 1. Little bit of speedy dry being put on the speedway in the outside lane, so it'll be a couple of more minutes before we're able to roll the cars that are currently stopped on the back straightaway.
Yeah, and you know, it gives us an opportunity to pass along our thoughts and well wishes to the friends and families of a couple of folks, starting with Les Unger, a longtime pioneer in the Toyota Motorsports family, had a lot of influence with Toyota in their IndyCar, IMSA off-road, and Toyota Atlantic Series, and supporting NASCAR when they came into the sport of NASCAR racing as well. He passed away just recently, so absolutely everybody misses Les Unger as well from Toyota. And also, of course, here at the Talladega Superspeedway, another one, Grant Lynch. Took over as president of Talladega Superspeedway in 1993 when Mike Helton was the president of the track at that point. But Grant Lynch took over. He passed away just recently as well. We had a celebration of life service in Big Bill's right here in the infield at Talladega Superspeedway last night. Grant Lynch, Les Unger, both are going to be greatly missed, and they are already.
So the field is stopped over on the back straightaway. Let's check in now on the pit lane. Not a lot happening right now, Steve Post, but unfortunately there's a lot of teams preparing some damage fixing.
Yeah, nothing is happening now, Kyle, because of the red flag, but still monitoring the Connor Zilic car. We talked about the right front damage on it, and it is all body damage. Marty Lindley and Connor Zilic are talking. Connor said the steering wheel, the wheels look fine. The wheel was straight when he brought it down pit road, and Marty has gotten a look up under it, or the crew guys have, and they say that it does not appear to any suspension damage. So right now what it is, it's going to work on not only getting some tape on the front grille and the front fender, the right front fender, but making sure it is as smooth as possible. So getting the tape on there, but massaging it on there and putting it in good shape. There's two crew members around to the right front, one right in front of the car, one over on the left front as well. One crew member has a fan blowing some cool air in on the driver, Connor Zilic, so they're just waiting for the red flag to be pulled so they can start working under yellow flag conditions on the Connor Zilic Chevrolet. Jason Toy, with this caution here, what is it doing? What are you hearing as far as strategy over the rest of this race and this stage?
Well, Postman, the biggest thing we're hearing is a lot of chatter back and forth between the drivers, the spotters, and the crew chiefs on what they're going to do here. We're getting close to the end of stage number 2, and we know that basically at the end of stage number 2, you should be good to go the rest of the way on fuel. Should be is the question. That's the scheduled length and the conclusion of this race. It's extra. That's the concern for some of these teams and some of these drivers, especially Eric Almirola. He is, they threw out a scenario to him. He radioed back in. The veteran that he is says, I don't feel real comfortable in that. I don't want to have to get to the end and have the car sputter coming to the green flag, especially if we got a green-white checker. So the biggest thing that they're going to do now is they're going to have an opportunity to come down here. They're going to probably get some fuel this time, come back at the end of stage number 2 and top off the fuel there too. Might not change tires at the end of the stage, but during this time down pit lane, go ahead and put on those 4 fresh Racing Goodyear Eagles to get them to go the rest of the way. But some of them that are looking at big picture, just like that 19 car for Eric Almirola in the Owners Championship for Joe Gibbs Racing. And some of them just want to go out here and try to get an opportunity to win and make that gamble to make sure they have enough fuel down the final stretch. Brad Gilly, it's quiet in the middle section of pit road out here, but I see some activities down towards yours then.
A little bit of activity down here, and that is the pit boxes of 2 Joe Gibbs Racing teams being cleaned up right now. That's because William Sawalich out of this race. He was a part of this most recent caution. Also, Taylor Gray, they started the day with a car that would not go into 4th gear. They changed out that transmission. They started from the back, and unfortunately for Taylor Gray, the new transmission, same problem. It locked up. They are not able to continue their day. But as far as strategy goes, Jesse Love, his crew chief, Danny Stockman, he's having a debate and a conversation with Brandon Benes, the spotter, as to what they're going to do here when pit road opens. They can't quite make it to the end on Sunoco fuel, but they're trying to strategize what their best day is going to be. A lot of that happening offline through text messages right now as they're trying to be pretty quiet about what their plan is.
Pit lane is open as we are now back under the caution flag. Red flag lasted 10 minutes, 35 seconds. Our second red flag, that is. Pit lane is open. Brad, looks like we got at least one coming to a stop in front of you.
Josh Williams coming to a stop in front of me. He's driving the number 45 Chevrolet here today. He is getting right side tires right now. It's going to be a 4-tire change, and they top him off with Sunoco fuel. How about you, Jason Toy?
Only one making a stop in the middle section. That's David Starr driving for Joey Gase Motorsports here today. 4 tires Sunoco fuel for them. Steve Post busy in front of you.
Yeah, Daniel Dye is in, 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. Christian Eckes is in. Same scenario there, 4 tires in Sunoco fuel. Harrison Burton in his wounded Ford, he is in as well. They continue to work on it, this time a chassis adjustment. 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel as well. Following up on Connor Zilic, he said the car feels perfectly fine out on the racetrack. Marty Lindley said bring it in. We're going to put left side tires on. We're going to top it off with fuel, and that'll set them up for the stage break for a quicker pit stop, they're hoping, than everybody else.
And I watched this repair work for Connor Zilic as they were down there. The right side headlight of this car, he took a hit there body-wise. The noses are Kevlar. They popped that back out into shape, taped over it. As Steve Post talked about, they cut a little bit of the wheel opening and have a little more clearance there. The only concern I have is where it's attached to the splitter at the bottom. That looked pushed back in. I don't know how secure that is at this point. If it's all right, I think he's good to go.
And we'll restart well outside of the top 15 when we go back under the green flag, but we'll see if he's able to come back up through the field, much like he did in the opening stage of this event. Harrison Burton back down on the pit lane, and the Connor Zilic car continuing to be worked on down on pit road, the right front car now getting a once-over by that team, so we'll see if they can get back out on the racetrack. Still have some time as the pace car is over in turn number 4. Long way around here to the exit of the pit lane as the safety trucks come by. Cleanup complete down in turn number 1. We should be back under the green flag here shortly, entering the final 3 laps of this event, this stage when they cross the start-finish line.
So let's take a swing around the racetrack, bring our turn announcers in, and some of the observations from what they've been able to see starting in turns 1 and 2. Dave, looks like bottom, the first lane, the second lane, third, and even the fourth lane have all been viable for these drivers so far today.
I would say that's accurate, Alex, and the longer we go into this thing and the more rubber gets put down from top to bottom, the more the second, third, and every once in a while just a sneak peek into the fourth seems to come into play. What we have seen so far is a lot of very aggressive blocking at the front of the pack and some aggressive moves made within the top 5 to try and gain or maintain a position. As a result, we've got a lot of drivers that hope to have good days today that are already as pedestrians in the garage watching the finish of this one. We'll see if they calm down a little bit as we get down closer to the end.
Tim Catalfalmo on the back straightaway.
And just to add to Dave's point, some of those drivers that have been throwing those aggressive blocks have been the two Richard Childress Racing teammates of Austin Hill and Jesse Love. It's arguably, they are the two best cars on the racetrack, at least from my vantage point in the draft. They really have a lot of speed, and when they get out front, they really are able to work both lanes of traffic. If it's 2 wide, 3 wide, however many lanes there are behind them, they're able to work that traffic very well and stay at the top, but as they are doing so, they are putting on some very aggressive blocks, and at some point, somebody's going to get a little bit angry at that, and I think that's going to lead to some trouble later on this afternoon.
We just got the 1-to-go signal, half a lap away from going back under the green. There will be 2 laps to go in stage 2, so Chris Wilner up in turns 3 and 4. You're on a party porch for the drivers. Is it really that big of a party going on down there?
It kind of is, actually, Alex Hayden. The crowd beginning to grow here as they know kind of what's at stake, especially get towards the end of here, stage number 2, and then, of course, stage number 3. Interesting to note, after the choose, you do have a pair of Junior Motorsports Chevrolets opting to go side by side. So I was wondering if Sammy Smith would opt to line up behind Justin Allgaier, but, of course, with stage points aplenty and certainly those points buffers going into next week at Martinsville up for grabs, be interesting to see these two teammates race it out with Carson Kvapil not far behind on the inside of row number 2. So, will we see some calamity here at the end of stage number 2? We'll find out here just shortly.
Sammy Smith will restart to the inside of Justin Allgaier on the front row. Then it's Kvapil and Austin Hill, Nick Sanchez, Eric Almirola, Jesse Love, and Jeb Burton in row number 4. Again, inside and out. Pace truck on the pit lane. 2 laps to go in stage number 2. Here they come into the tri-oval. Justin Allgaier getting a shove from Austin Hill in the outside lane, while Sammy Smith gets a shove from Carson Kvapil on the bottom as they go to turn number 1, deadlocked at the front.
All that pushing and shoving is going to even out into a 2x2 battle. First, second, third, fourth, just inches apart. Then a good gap back to the third row on the inside where Nick Sanchez powered to the inside of Eric Almirola.
It's still a drag race for the top spot. Headed up the straightaway. Sammy Smith to the inside of Justin Allgaier. Now it's Allgaier with some assistance from Austin Hill, who will grab the lead by the time they get to 3.
And it was a battle of whose dancing partner was better, and right now it was Justin Allgaier and also Austin Hill, as Allgaier's now stretched his lead out by about 2 car lengths over the battle for second, now side by side between Sammy Smith and Austin Hill.
Connor Zilic had to make a pit stop there. Pit lane was closed because we're within 2 laps of the end of the stage. It's Justin Allgaier at the front of the field. We begin the final lap, stage number 2, as they race back to turn 1.
Final time into turn 1 here in stage 2, and the battle is on for the lead. Justin Allgaier, bottom of the racetrack, slides up a little bit, tries to take a little bit of real estate away from Austin Hill off turn 2.
Austin Hill in that second lane towards the outside wall. They have the numbers, but do they have the speed? Justin Allgaier doing everything he can to try to get alongside Hill, but it's Austin Hill, the leader this time in the 3.
And Hill got shoved by Carson Kvapil down the back straightaway into turn 3, as Austin Hill now will have to play blocker through turns 3 and 4. Hill by about a half car length. He'll go to the bottom to block Justin Allgaier. Here comes Kvapil to the outside.
Austin Hill looking to sweep the stages here this afternoon, is at the front of the field into the tri-oval for the final time in stage number 2, 3 and 4 wide behind him. No challenge up front. Austin Hill will see the green and white checkered flag and win stage 2, his 8th stage win of the 2025 season. Justin Allgaier will finish in 2nd, Carson Kvapil 3rd, Christian Eck is 4th, and Nick Sanchez to round out the top 5. Jesse Love finished in 6th, Eric Almirola 7th, Sammy Smith 8th, Daniel Dye 9th, and Jeb Burton will round out the top 10.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
And in the whole pack, steaming for the finish line, Dale Earnhardt wins a Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Under caution flag for the 4th time this afternoon. This one for the end of Stage 2 in the United Rentals 250. Won by Austin Hill, who has won both of the stages here today. Justin Allgaier, Carson Kvapil, Christian Eckes, and Nick Sanchez, the top 5. Pit stops coming up next as we are now 43 laps shy of the finish. From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
And in the whole pack, steaming for the finish line, Dale Earnhardt wins a Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform.
Hey guys, Corley Joy here. Make sure you catch Stacking Pennies on all the NASCAR platforms each week. We talk to some of our greatest drivers, winners, relevant stories. You never know who's going to show up.
Hall of Famers, everything. And you're going to get the best race highlights, the best content, the best scanner audio, the best reactions, and by far the best pit road breakdowns of any other podcast. Corey, where can they hear us?
You can find us on NASCAR on Tubi, SiriusXM Channel 90, wherever you find your podcasts, or on YouTube. Go check us out.
Back at the Talladega Superspeedway, the pace car has picked up the field. Pit road remains closed, but Steve Post, it has been an eventful caution, and somehow, some way, Connor Zilisch has been able to stay on the lead lap.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, they've been busy down here in the Connor Zilisch pit, okay? So we talked about the right front damage on the car, and as Todd Gordon suspected, he was worried about the splitter and that connection there right at the right front corner of the car, and that is still a problem. It was still kind of hanging loose there even after they put some attention to it. What we didn't see coming, what we didn't expect, was the left rear of the car had a tire rub on it. As he was coming to green, he had a tire going down, and they had to come down and replace that tire, or they didn't replace the tire, they had to come down and get rid of the tire rub because they had to get up to speed with the damaged vehicle clock. So he came down, they went back out, and that tire clearance did not work as they ended up cutting down a left rear tire. So they just did that. And now he's going to catch up to the back end of the field, and they're going to bring the car down for, I believe, a 4th, maybe a 5th time right now, and continue to work on the right front and the left rear of the Connor Zilisch automobile.
So Connor Zilisch is rejoining the tail end of the field as they make their way over on the Alabama Gang Super Stretch as we work the caution flag for the 4th time in today's United Rentals 250. Austin Hill, he has been strong, Kyle, all afternoon long. He's made some breathtaking moves. Dave was describing a moment ago the blocking that he's been doing today, but he's been successful when it comes to drafting tracks.
Pretty strong, pretty calculated here on these super speedways the last several seasons for Austin Hill, and that's why he's picked up a bunch of wins. And you can say the same about his Richard Childress Racing teammate, Jesse Love, who has led laps this afternoon. Has made just as many aggressive moves at the point, runs in the 6th position right now, and if those two can find each other on the racetrack in the closing laps, look out. Could be another RCR Chevrolet going to victory lane here at Talladega.
Yeah, they're a strong duo when it comes to drafting tracks. As a matter of fact, Richard Childress Racing has won 8 of the 12 stages on drafting tracks this year. The 3 drafting tracks here at Talladega, Daytona, and Echo Park Speedway. So we work under the caution flag. Pit lane is open right now. Here comes Austin Hill. He is in. Jesse Love is there. Brad Gilley.
Different strategies for the RCR teammates. Austin Hill, 2 tires, Sunoco fuel, go on the jack. For Jesse Love, Danny Stockman says, I want a fresh car. 4 tires, pack it with fuel. They're going to add some tape to the nose as well. Jason Toy.
Eric Almirola is in. They're going to take 4 Racing Goodyear Eagles, but then also, too, it's Sean Hawkins on the fuel can. He's going to make sure that thing gets packed up for that Toyota. Sammy Smith, same game plan for them. 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. Steve Post.
4 tires, Sunoco fuel for Nick Sanchez. Right side tires for Carson Quapple, but they had to hold him there to make sure the car was full of fuel. Justin Allgaier was in, getting 4 tires fuel. More work on the Connor Zilic car, but the key to this is making sure you're full of fuel. The fuel window is fine right now if you're full, but if we go into overtime, that's when everyone's going to start to get antsy. So we saw a couple of different teams hold the car just a half second, maybe even a second, to make sure that it was topped off and full of Sunoco Racing fuel.
And one of the things with these cars and how we fuel them with the fuel can being engaged in the left rear, it can't get full with the right side jacked up. You'll be probably a gallon short of being full with the right side jacked up. Just there's an air pocket in the fuel cell, and the hose from the can to the fuel cell actually kind of gets leveled out and won't pack itself full. You need to let that car get flat on the ground and burp that air back up, or left side up is preferable to get that last gallon. With this run, we've got 41 laps to the end. You don't know where green-white checkers might be in overtime. You want to make sure you've got every ounce of fuel you can in it.
Christian Eckes, the first car off of the pit lane just a moment ago, picking up 3 spots. Austin Hill lost 1 and will come off second. Carson Quapple in third, Leland Honeyman in fourth, and David Starr, who we haven't talked a whole lot about today, gaining 11 spots on pit road, coming off in fifth.
United Rentals is proud to sponsor the United Rentals 250 at Talladega Superspeedway. With the most comprehensive equipment fleet in North America, backed by a team of industry experts, United Rentals is ready to deliver customized solutions for whatever your project demands. United Rentals is more than an equipment rental provider. They are a full-service partner for safe, productive, and sustainable job sites. United Rentals, building a better future together.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Daniel Dye elected not to make a stop under this caution and will lead the field to the green flag in about a half a lap from now. From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The Tough Trucks of NASCAR, an exclusive podcast from the Motor Racing Network.
Ron Hornaday, green flag is in the air, and he will take the field quickly to turn 1.
Relive the moments of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series from its debut in 1995.
Checkered flag in the air, Skinner wins from the inaugural for the NASCAR Truck Series by Craftsman.
The legends of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Todd Bodine wins 4 in a row on super speedways.
The Tough Trucks of NASCAR, available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
.39 laps to go in the United Rentals 250 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at the Talladega Superspeedway. About to start the third and final stage. Daniel Dye will bring the field to the green flag here in just a moment as the field comes off of turn 4. Christian Eckes, Austin Hill, Carson Quapple, Leland Honeyman in the top 5. Then it's David Starr, Eric Almirola, Sammy Smith, Nick Sanchez, and Justin Allgaier as we are set for the restart.
Here they come into the restart zone, which is right in the middle of the tri-oval. Sammy Smith on the inside lane, or rather Daniel Dye, that is, the inside lane to driver's left. Outside, that's Christian Eckes. It's going to be Daniel Dye. Got a trunk full of Carson Kvapil, shoving him to the lead in turn 1.
Kvapil giving him a little bit of help in that inside line, and Daniel Dye will break free into the lead. Free to change lanes if he chooses to. He'll stay huddled up on that double yellow line. Battle for second. Kvapil down low, Eckes up high.
Daniel Dye remains committed to the bottom side of the racetrack as Carson Kvapil will follow in his tire tracks up the back straightaway. Here comes Christian Eckes now to the right elbow of Daniel Dye, the leader, as they go to 3.
Field up to full song into turn number 3 as Eckes now will find Austin Hill to his back bumper to try to shove him towards the front row, but still side by side for second. Kvapil on the inside, Eckes to the outside as Dye leads off 4.
Further back, Sammy Smith steps out of line to go 3 wide in the extreme outside lane as they enter the tri-oval. 3 wide racing from about 8th on back, but at the point it is Daniel Dye all by himself with Christian Eckes and Carson Kvapil side by side for second.
They continue to go nose to nose for second and third, allowing Daniel Dye free passage at the front of the pack. Jesse Love looking 3 wide around the outside of his teammate as they make their way down the backstretch.
Jesse Love rim riding through turns 1 and 2 right up against the white safer barrier. Now Christian Eckes moves up and blocks Jesse Love. They're 3 wide for the race lead.
Strong move for Jesse Love, but you mentioned it, Tim, 3 wide for the race lead. Although, how about Eric Almirola? Shot out of a cannon through the middle lane of the 3 wide scenario. He's now by his lonesome as the new race leader off 4.
Here he comes, right in the middle of the racing surface. Now drifts up to the 4th lane to driver's right. Comes right back down to the 2nd lane to put the block on there. They're stacked up 3 wide behind the lone car at the front of the field, and it's Eric Almirola.
Almirola, who's had a smooth and methodical march toward the front of the pack, up to the lead right now, but not without challenges. Here comes Daniel Dye, back to the inside. They've got Almirola stuck in the middle with Eckes up high.
Eckes is up high. Almirola is in the middle. Daniel Dye, the one car that is downstairs, but that inside lane is losing momentum. At the front of the pack, Austin Hill shoving Eric Almirola off the backstretch.
That inside lane now all to the bottom as Eric Almirola will continue to get pushed by Austin Hill. Now into turn number 4. To that middle groove goes Almirola to continue having Austin Hill behind him. Side by side for third with Sanchez and Eckes.
Last week's Las Vegas winner back at the front of the field here in Talladega. Eric Almirola to the point. Austin Hill in second. Sanchez to the inside for position number 3 on Christian Eckes, who leads the outside lane back to 1.
Some less experienced drivers sometimes struggle with the amount of help that they get from a guy like Austin Hill. Eric Almirola likes it just fine. Hill has shoved Almirola to the lead. Here comes Nick Sanchez to the bottom.
Nick Sanchez trying to get some drivers to work with him in his rear view mirror. Sanchez is up alongside the Austin Hill Chevrolet. That's the race for second. Almirola now moves from the bottom and up to the top.
Well, here comes the bottom lane as Sanchez got a good shove by Harrison Burton. He's got cousin Jeb Burton behind him as well. So now side by side from second on back as Almirola will drift up high to block Austin Hill.
Eric Almirola maintains the point here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Downstairs at the bottom side, that draft is being led, that is, by Nick Sanchez. He looks in the mirror and sees some numbers begin to stack up there to propel him forward.
Nick Sanchez and Big Machine Racing have had a solid afternoon so far, raced their way in the top 10 for much of the day. Leader will cross over across his nose to block the advances. It's still Eric Almirola.
One car that is making its way forward is the Harrison Burton Ford Mustang, involved in an earlier crash. Harrison is on the bottom side of the racetrack, following Nick Sanchez back to the corner.
Meanwhile, the top side is starting to gain traction as Jesse Love has found Austin Hill on the top groove, as Love now going to get Sammy Smith all caught up in the middle as he drifts high to protect the lane. So Sammy Smith now in a 3-wide scenario and going backwards.
Sammy Smith beginning to fade in that middle lane off of turn number 4. Will lose a couple of spots and will fall to the second half of the top 10. Eric Almirola leads by a car length in the outside lane. Has drafting help from Austin Hill, Harrison Burton, and Jeb Burton in 4th.
Almirola came into turn 1 down at the very top of the racetrack, slides down to the middle, but he doesn't slide low enough. Austin Hill will make the move to the bottom. Austin Hill to the lead on the back straightaway.
Austin Hill was able to kick that door open on the inside of the racetrack. Now here comes Harrison Burton pulling out a line. getting to the inside of Austin Hill. They're 3 wide again for the top spot at Talladega.
Harrison Burton to the strong move to the inside, has drafting help here at the front of the field. He's got a wounded rear trunk, but he's got cousin Jeb Burton shoving him to the lead. It's Harrison Burton, Jeb Burton 1-2 with Blaine Perkins now challenging for third.
Justin Allgaier, who was fourth, pops out of line. He'll go to the second lane. Allgaier's trying to get things organized behind him. Here comes Austin Hill, Jesse Love. They're coming to save Justin Allgaier as they race the top side.
Shuffling the deck all the way back through the top 15 or 18 positions, and again it's going to be 3 wide for the lead. Justin Allgaier around the outside. Daniel Dye on the bottom, or check that, it's Jeb Burton to the bottom of the racetrack. Now he gets shuffled middle.
All those cars racing frantically full speed up the Alabama Gang super stretch. The race leader is Justin Allgaier. Austin Hill runs second. They're 3 wide from further on back.
Jeb Burton caught in the middle as Blaine Perkins will make his presence felt as the first car now down on the yellow line in the bottom. Racing for that 4th position off of 4. It's still Allgaier and Hill 3 wide for the 3rd spot.
Justin Allgaier back to the front of the field here at Talladega, coming to 32 laps to go. Allgaier leading the outside lane, and that's where the speed is now. Has help from Austin Hill. Now crossing over to the bottom is Jesse Love.
Jesse Love takes it to the bottom of the racetrack. Pulls even now with Austin Hill. That's the battle for the 2nd position. Jesse hasn't got a lot of drafting help, but he's holding strong on that inside line.
That car of Jesse Love definitely is strong this afternoon, Dave. He has been able to make his way through traffic, slice and dice his way through the pack, and he is now racing Eric Almirola and Austin Hill for 2nd place.
Love trying to side draft Almirola down into turn 3 and 4, as meanwhile Austin Hill will pull off the back bumper of Allgaier, now slide up from the bottom side to the top side, and you've got a new leader off 4. It's Austin Hill, 5.5 car length.
And that is exactly where he likes to be. He loves to control these drafting track races. He's got his teammate from Richard Childress Racing, Jesse Love, downstairs. Love is beginning to get some drafting help. Here comes Jeb Burton to the rescue on the bottom.
The 2 RCR teammates unable to work together right now. Austin Hill's up top side. Jesse Love is down low. Although Hill could decide to cross over across his nose, he'll hold off and not do it this time.
Austin Hill, the leader of the outside lane, that again rides right up against the wall halfway down the straightaway. Justin Allgaier, he's not going to pull out a line. He'll follow the leader, Austin Hill, back to turn 3.
Numbers on the outside lane now as the bottom lane with Jesse Love trying to get organized, as Love will get some help from Jeb Burton, still riding back in the 4th spot. Meanwhile, it's 1, 2, 3 on the top side of the racetrack with Hill, Allgaier, and Almirola.
Back down to the start-finish line. 30 laps to go in the United Rentals 250. Austin Hill shows the way. We'll get you right back to the on-track action in a moment. First, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Motor Racing Network is live at Talladega Super Speedway in Talladega, Alabama. My name is Alex Hayden. Alongside is Todd Gordon and Kyle Rickey, Dave Moody, Tim Catalfamo, and Chris Wilner out in the turns with Steve Post, Jason Toy, and Brad Gilley on the pit lane for us here today.
Had 10 different leaders, 17 lead changes, and right now things have calmly settled down for just a couple of moments at the front of the field. Austin Hill, the race leader, and everybody among the top 10 has singled out for the first time today in the outside lane. Justin Allgaier in 2nd, Eric Almirola 3rd, Jesse Love 4th, Leland Honeyman in 5th, Josh Williams in the 6th spot as they go back to turn 1.
A rare moment of calm. The entire top 20, maybe 25, all single file up next to the safer barrier as they hit the backstretch.
Everybody has decided to get in line and log some laps with still plenty of racing to go at Talladega Superspeedway. It is still Austin Hill, the race leader, Justin Allgaier, Eric Almirola, Jesse Love, and Leland Honeyman, the top 5.
What was a frantic battle at the front of the field has calmed down for now. As you mentioned, Austin Hill continues to lead. One car did duck a lap ago, and it was Nick Sanchez. He's now plummeted outside the top 10 as they're single file again on the top off 4.
Yeah, Nick Sanchez did not get the memo in time that everybody was going to the top of the racetrack. He was able to finally find a place to fall back in line. Sanchez is in the 14th position. Todd, it's an interesting phenomenon we see here at Talladega Superspeedway. For the better part of the opening 64 or 5 laps, 2, 3, 4 wide racing. Suddenly we're down to 28 to go. You get the sense now we're single file. It's time to start putting your final plan in place.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where you've got two really strong cars leading one lane, and they get control of the race. And then everybody that's not in that lane gets nervous about it. So you start to see the cars shuffle themselves up into it. It almost just organically grows into a one-lane racetrack and one where you kind of ride around here. But we're sitting here with 28 to go. You're going to see some guys get anxious here in the next 10 laps, start to maybe try to make a move because they feel like they're too far back to be connected to the win.
The top 4 cars have been proven to be strong all afternoon. Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, Eric Almirola, and Jesse Love. We talked about Nick Sanchez a little bit ago, falling outside of the top 10. He gained a couple of spots last time by, is up to 12th. Also keeping an eye on Connor Zilic, still on the lead lap with some crash damage, but as deep as we have seen him in a couple of months, currently in the 15th position, but still a long way to go, 27 laps to run.
So while they're running single file, it's a perfect opportunity to let you know where your favorite driver is running. It's Austin Hill at the front of the field. Justin Allgaier is second. Eric Almirola is third. Jesse Love is fourth. Fifth right now is Leland Honeyman. Sixth is Josh Williams. Seventh, Jeb Burton. Eighth is Daniel Dye. Harrison Burton is ninth, and Sammy Smith is 10th.
Christian Eckes runs in the 11th spot. Nick Sanchez in 12th. Blaine Perkins in 13th. Carson Quapple 14th. Connor Zilic in 15th. Then it's Kyle Sieg in the 16th spot. Brennan Poole 17th. Mason Maggio was in the 18th spot. Just picked up a position over Sanchez. Then David Starr 19th, and Joey Gase to round out the top 20.
21st is Garrett Smithley. 22nd is Parker Retzloff. 23rd, Cesar Baccarella. Nick Lights is 24th, and he is the last car on the lead lap. Running in one lap down, 25th, is Carson Ware. Brandon Jones is still on the track. He's the last car running multiple laps down to the tone of, 15 laps down is Brandon Jones with damaged race car. He's being scored 26th. From here on back, everybody else is out of the race. 27th, Ryan Ellis. 28th, Connor Mozak. 29th, Dean Thompson. 30th, William Sawalich.
Then it's Taylor Gray, Jordan Anderson, Anthony Alfredo, Sheldon Creed, 34th, Ryan Sieg, 35th, then Brendan Queen and Jeremy Clements, the running order as we continue under the green flag. 25 laps to go.
As the fans move closer to the edge of their seats with 25 to go, we're getting closer and closer to finding out who's going to take the win in the United Rentals 250.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 tires Sonoma Racing Fuel. The race off from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Welcome back to Talladega Super Speedway. We stay under the green, 24 laps to go, but Dave, a car may have had some problems in front of you.
Bad news doesn't come often for Connor Zilic, but when it does, it comes in bunches. He came off turn number 2 in line with everybody else. Sounded like the right front tire gave up the ghost, and he pancaked the wall. He is still at speed, and I guarantee he's headed for pit road.
Was running in the 14th spot last time by. That car now off the pace and heading to the pit lane. A lot of right front sparks from the car of Connor Zilic after a tire has gone down in turn number 2. He heads to the pit lane. We stay green. 23 laps to go. It's Austin Hill continuing to pace the field. From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Get ready ready to rev your engines, NASCAR fans? The thrill, the speed, the action. You can now experience it all for free on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. All-day access to NASCAR action, streaming classic moments, iconic rivalries, and behind-the-scenes stories from the greatest drivers. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere on your favorite fast platform. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Find the NASCAR channel on your streaming device and start watching today.
We are the voice of NASCAR.
The green flag is in the air, and we are underway. The Great American Race.
The Motor Racing Network. NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Craftsman Truck Series Racing live on your hometown radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com. Martinsville, Talladega, the Chicago Street Course. We have the side-by-side action and last lap passes for the win.
Photo finishes. Ryan Blaney will win.
The voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
Back at the Talladega Superspeedway, coming to 21 laps to go in the United Rentals 250. Austin Hill continuing to show the way. Single file throughout much of the field. The only driver out of line right now, Nick Sanchez, and trying to get some help from Brennan Poole deeper in the pack. But for the most part, everybody else in the high line.
With 21 laps to go, Todd, when will you tell your driver, hey, it's time to get going here?
Yeah, I think we're about 5 laps away from that. Probably, it depends on how deep you are. I mean, if I'm Jesse Love sitting there in fourth, I'm thinking 3-4 laps to go, but he'll probably jump out when that bottom line starts to develop. If I'm deeper like Sammy Smith or Travis Quaffle, who are back 10th and 13th, I feel like I've got to have a little more urgency. Get on this with double-digit laps to go.
Let's see what the crew chiefs are saying as we go to pit road and Steve Post.
I think you're right on the mark there with that. Been listening to the conversation between Carson Quaffle and his crew chief, Jason Overstreet. Also, Nick Sanchez. You guys have documented Nick Sanchez has been aggressive getting out of line. He's trying to leapfrog forward, and it's been fun listening to them coach Carson Quaffle on how not to let Nick Sanchez leapfrog in front of him. And as they watch it go by, Sanchez is back down on the inside. So he's trying to get going and trying to get after it right now. Real quick follow-up, Connor Zilic, Dave Moody nailed it, right front flat tire. They've got a lot of damage on that car. Jason Toy, what are you hearing in your portion of the pit area?
Eric Almirola, who's trying to run on the Owners' Championship. He's currently in the 3rd position right now. His spotter is Matt Philpott, and Matt keeps relaying to him about, okay, who's in line with you, who's behind them about 3 deep, and one of them, that is Jesse Love, that's lined up right behind him. Now Jesse Love, they told him if Love tries to go, the driver behind him, Leland Honeyman, does not have a left front fender. It's going to be harder for him to do it. Just to be aware, keep an eye on it there for Eric Almirola. How about in front of you, Brad?
Well, Jesse Love is wanting to go, and he's wanting to go pretty bad. It looks like Sammy Smith had dropped to the bottom and was trying to take a line there. But Love said, do not let me not get to the bottom first. He wanted to be the first one down there, and he's making some moves, leapfrogging cars right now.
As they work their way up off turn number 2 to the Alabama Gang Super Stretch, Tim, they're beginning to shuffle out.
They are indeed. Sammy Smith has jumped out of line. Harrison Burton, Christian Eckes, and others trying to find some dancing partners late in this race.
They certainly are. As Sammy Smith, though, is left on an island there on the bottom side of the racetrack. We saw a couple of laps ago Jesse Love start to peel out. He continues to ride in that 3rd spot around the outside, but Sammy Smith anxiously awaiting some help on the bottom. He's going the wrong direction.
Was able to make the pass on Eric Almirola last time by, talking about Jesse Love, who is now within 1 car of his RCR teammate and race leader Austin Hill. Justin Allgaier between them as they remain single file through the top 10.
Front 10 remain, as you said, single file. The anxious guy to go to the bottom, once again, is Sammy Smith. He jumps down low, but help is not easy to find.
Yeah, Dave, right now there are only 3 cars on the bottom of the racetrack. That is Sammy Smith, Christian Eckes, and Nick Sanchez. That is not enough to move forward. They're continuing to slowly slip backwards.
Give Sammy Smith some credit, staying committed to the bottom side of the racetrack, as here comes Eckes with a little bit of help, as well as Nick Sanchez. But 3 cars against about 12, not going to be enough for those two as they continue to fight hard on the bottom.
Go back to Isaac Newton's 3rd law of motion. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's what's going on right now. When somebody makes a move, somebody has to react to it. Right now, Austin Hill continues to have the lead.
And the question is, when is somebody going to be able to rally the troops downstairs? Sammy Smith continues to try and do so, but there's just not enough help. He's got only 2 cars on his back bumper off turn 2.
And Sammy Smith continues to be very aggressive, side drafting the cars that are in that outside lane. A few laps ago, he bounced off the side of the Josh Williams Chevrolet. They both kept it straight, but that was a close moment.
Sammy Smith now ducking to the inside of Josh Williams. He'll now blow by on the inside to Leland Honeyman. There is a gap. If he can get up the racetrack, he will do so. So Sammy Smith, nice job there, will settle outside, actually in the 5th spot.
We had some drafting help from Christian Eckes, who is now the only car on the bottom of the racetrack, at least among the top half dozen or so, and he'll fade toward the tail end of the lead pack. Austin Hill, the leader, over Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love, Eric Almirola, and Sammy Smith with 16 to go.
Working their way through turns 1 and 2. Nobody willing to jump out of line yet. I got a feeling that when somebody does, it'll be in the neighborhood of Jesse Love.
And it's going to be a mad scramble, Dave, when that does happen. But for the moment, everyone remains committed to staying in line. Following the leader, Austin Hill, back to turn 3.
Austin Hill leads the train into 3 and 4. The sun-direct area of this racetrack as the sun gets long in the sky. It's still Austin Hill with Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love, and Eric Almirola. We saw Almirola last time by peek his nose out. He doesn't do it this time.
Back into the shade as the sun sets behind this massive grandstands here at the front side of Talladega Superspeedway. Austin Hill keeps looking forward, but has to keep an eye in the rearview mirror because the field is behind him.
He knows it's coming. He just doesn't know who or when. For the moment, he continues to show the way. Allgaier rides in 2nd. Love is 3rd. Almirola 4th. Sammy Smith rides in the next position as they make their way to the back straightaway.
Behind all those drivers inside of the top 5, you find the Josh Williams Chevrolet. He is in the top 10. He is 7th. 1 spot in front of Williams is Leland Honeyman.
Yeah, give a call to Leland Honeyman. Has a gaping hole on the left front side of his race car, but he is holding tough there inside the top 10 as Honeyman continues to trail Sammy Smith, but back up front still Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, they come off of turn number 4, still single file, but Todd, is Justin Allgaier, the driver, in trouble here? If he makes a move, does Jesse Love stay committed to Austin Hill, his teammates?
Yeah, I really think being stuck between RCR teammates and Jesse Love has got a lot of speed, made a couple runs at him. I'm waiting to see where that move happens, and I feel like the field's probably going to follow that 2 car who's had a ton of speed today.
I agree, but if I kind of go an opposite way to it in a sense, because I think if Allgaier pulls out of line, Jesse Love goes with Justin Allgaier. He knows his teammates got equal equipment. It's a strong race car. Jesse Love wants to win this race too, and if he feels like his teammate has the same equipment, maybe an advantage to try to pass the Justin Allgaier car.
You're not probably going to put yourself in a situation where you run your teammate's car out of the playoffs. Keep in mind that the 21 car is in the owner's playoffs as well. Teammates will work together. I really will have to see how this plays out in the next 13 laps.
Time will tell as Austin Hill pulls the field back to turn number 1 with Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love, Eric Almirola in tow.
Last couple of laps, Jesse Love has dropped back a little bit, dragged the brake, gotten a little daylight between himself and Justin Allgaier, and then quickly erased that gap, maybe rehearsing for a late lap move.
He has indeed, Dave. He's been leaving a nice gap between him and the second place car of Justin Allgaier. This time down the back straightaway, they form up tightly going back to 3.
Love continues in that 3rd spot, and you mentioned it was kind of trail breaking the last time by. Now it's Almirola tucked up right behind him here as the train around the outside of the racetrack continues to be strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way back to about 10, single file.
12 laps to go this time by as they make their way through the tri-oval. There are some cars that are damaged. The Connor Zilic car is down to the bottom of the racetrack. Dave, they will have to deal with a couple of these slower wounded race cars.
The Connor Zilic machine will give way to the bottom of the racetrack, not too far further ahead. The other lap car that's been limping all day, Brandon Jones, they'll give way to the bottom.
All those slower cars will stay to the bottom side of the racetrack and allow all these faster leaders to pass them to their right. Halfway down the back straightaway, it is still Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love, Eric Almirola, and Sammy Smith, the top 5.
Into turns 3 and 4, Sammy Smith thought about it, peeked his nose, his left headlight to the inside of Eric Almirola, now gets up in tow. Back up front, though, strong for Austin Hill and Justin Allgaier. Have a little bit of a gap over Jesse Love.
Brandon Jones now just in front of the race leaders. The next car to fall another lap down. He was involved in the first incident of the day way back on lap number 4. He's off the pace on the bottom as the leaders look to his outside. Still no change. It's Hill over Allgaier.
Here they come, single file again, right up about a car width off the safer barrier. Everybody except for Christian Eckes has gone back to single file. Eckes is all alone and going backward.
Christian Eckes is racing outside of the top 10, but he is the only car that is not in this big, long freight train at the top side of the racetrack, still being led by Austin Hill.
And they get around the Brandon Jones machine, who gives the bottom lane and will allow Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love, and the like to go around the outside. When will the first move being made as they race off 4, coming to 10 to go?
They go around the outside of that highlighter yellow Menards Toyota of Brandon Jones. That car wounded early in a crash in today's race. They have been able to meet minimum speed, obviously, continue on. They are a championship contending team as the field goes back to turn 1.
You can hear the clock ticking. It's just a question of who's going to bust the move. It is still Christian Eckes all alone on the bottom, picking up a little bit of a drag from the left car of Brandon Jones.
Christian Eckes feeling very lonely down there. He is the only driver, again, still trying to establish that second lane, but nobody wants to go with him. Nobody's changed inside of the top 5 either. They exit the back straightaway.
Jesse Love going into turn 3, peeked his nose once again, trying to time out what could be the run he needs to get to the front, but it's still Austin Hill, his teammate, with Justin Allgaier running 1-2, Love running 3rd, and how about Eric Almirola now with Sammy Smith in the top 5.
All at the calm before the storm here at Talladega with 9 laps to go when they hit the start-finish line, field through the tri-oval, and nobody stepping out of line as of yet. It's still Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love, Eric Almirola, and Sammy Smith in 5th.
Every time Big Country checks the rearview mirror, he sees nobody coming, and he says, that's great. For another minute at least, down the back straightaway, it's Austin Hill with the point.
Now there is one car that to the bottom side of the racetrack and picks up the Christian Eckes Chevrolet. That is Nick Sanchez. Sanchez has been one of those few drivers that has been testing the waters the last several laps, but they still need more help.
And he needs a little bit more because Eckes isn't quite to the rear bumper, as now Jeb Burton pulls down to the middle lane. Here comes Daniel Dye that also thinks about it as well, so we start to have the pack break up from about 8th on back.
There'll be 8 laps to go this time by Austin Hill. He is undaunted at the front of the field from those cars mid-pack trying to organize. Nick Sanchez, Christian Eckes, the lone 2 cars downstairs trying to make something happen to climb the leaderboard.
Time to fly for some of those drivers back toward the tail end of the top 10. Again, Burton will drop down out of line across the nose of Christian Eckes and Nick Sanchez. They'll try and fight their way forward. Daniel Dye to the head of that line.
Daniel Dye is down there. Christian Eckes trying to figure out if he wants to go up to the top side or stay on the bottom. Nick Sanchez also there as well. Those 3 cars pedaling for all they're worth.
What was 3 is now back to 3 as Eckes opts for the bottom lane behind Nick Sanchez and Daniel Dye. But again, it's just 3 cars on the bottom. A strong freight train around the outside as Dye continues to try to lead that pack on the bottom.
All the numbers are in the outside lane, led by Austin Hill. Daniel Dye trying to get back into that outside lane, but has since falling outside of the top 10 in a battle with 12th for the 12th spot with Jeb Burton. As they go back to turn number 1, Hill, Allgaier, Love, and Almirola.
Top 10 all single file right now. That inside line still only 3 cars deep, not making a lot of progress, although they're not getting shuffled to the back either.
When will they make the big move as they hit the Alabama Gang super stretch? Austin Hill, again the race leader. Justin Allgaier is in 2nd. Jesse Love is 3rd. Eric Almirola, Sammy Smith, and Leland Honeyman.
You can feel the intensity start to build on the north end of the racetrack as the field works its way now into turn number 4. It's still Austin Hill. A couple more cars now opting for the bottom side of the racetrack with Jeb Burton trying to lead his cousin Harrison on the bottom.
Back off of turn number 4, Austin Hill continuing to show the way. That jockeying for position just into the top 10. Just among a couple of cars to the inside, Jeb Burton being one of them, along with Nick Sanchez as they go back to turn 1.
Here they come into turn 1 once again. No action at the front of the pack. Everybody biding their time, keeping the cards close to their vest, and that's just fine with Austin Hill.
And it's got to be a false sense of security right now for Austin Hill. He is the race leader. Nobody has challenged him for the top spot for the last 20 laps. But as the laps continue to get fewer, the odds of him being challenged continue to get greater.
The sands of the hourglass running thin as Austin Hill leads the field into 3 and 4. Another strong power move to the inside for Jeb Burton, trying to crack the top 5. Doesn't have a lot of help, but does have Harrison Burton and Nick Sanchez, but he'll go backwards off 4.
5 laps to go this time by. There is another lane that's trying to get organized, and that may break up just a bit. Austin Hill shows the way. Further back, Harrison Burton around the 8th place, beginning to go to the bottom of the track, Dave, but I don't think he's going to have enough help.
He's done everything to mail out invitations for somebody to go to the bottom with him. Nobody is going, and they're going to go to the back of the pack.
And Justin Allgaier, who is the runner-up spot right now on the racetrack, every couple of moments continues to poke a headlight to the inside of Austin Hill. He doesn't step fully out of line. He's just trying to get a little clean air to his nose.
He did, Tim, and now we'll go back to the tire tracks around the outside of the racetrack in turns 3 and 4. Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love now getting backpedaling a little bit to catch up with Eric Almirola, who's right now back to his back bumper.
Laps continuing to click away here. 4 laps to go when they hit the line. Nobody out of line, at least among the top 9. One car looks to the inside. That's Christian Eckes, but he is all by himself on the bottom. Everybody topside behind Austin Hill.
Veteran drivers with resumes of short track success all squaring up in the outside lane here at Talladega, waiting for the opportunity to push the button.
Still no change of those drivers inside of the top 10. The only ones that have stepped out of line continue to be Christian Eckes and others, but they are still not having the cars or the help they need to go forward.
The intensity meter continues to get ramped up here as we get into the closing laps at Talladega. Justin Allgaier sizing up Austin Hill this time off of turn number 4. Still Jesse Love in that 3rd spot. He's got Eric Almirola and Sammy Smith in tow.
Time getting precious at Talladega. 3 laps to go. Here's Austin Hill at the front of the field, still with the safer barrier immediately to driver's right on that Bennett blue and white Chevrolet. Justin Allgaier tucked right up underneath the rear spoiler.
Soon enough, somebody is going to have to light the fuse, but nothing so far in the top 10. A little further toward the back, Eckes continues to try. Also, Daniel Dye drops down, but still, they've not been able to crack the top 10.
Continues to be a high-speed game of chess with the laps getting fewer. Austin Hill continues to watch calmly Justin Allgaier car in his rearview mirror.
Driving out of his windshield as much as the rearview mirror is Austin Hill as they continue to go single file. Now the bottom lane has about 5, make it 6 cars with Jeb Burton trying to find a nice little bit of help from Christian Eckes.
Jeb Burton from the 8th position goes to the inside of the racetrack and will lead that bottom line off of turn 4 and into the tri-oval. Will pull up alongside Sammy Smith for 5th. Top 4 tightly bunched. Now Jesse Love steps out of line on 2nd place, Justin Allgaier.
Jesse Love drops out of the number 3 position. Drafting help is coming. Looking to drop down out of Sammy Smith. He didn't get there in time. He's stuck in the middle. Almirola gets hit, and they're tearing it up on the back straightaway. Daniel Dye with a vicious hit into the inside retaining wall. 3 or 4 other cars crashing down toward turn 3.
They continue to crash as they work their way down the Alabama Gang super stretch. A hard hit for Daniel Dye, an equally hard hit for Eric Almirola. Both those cars now have stopped off turn number 2.
Caution on the speedway. We're headed to overtime at the Talladega Super Speedway. David, all broke out in turn 2.
Sammy Smith tried to make a move from top to bottom, and he waited too long. Eric Almirola was to the inside of him. When he made the move, contact was made. Almirola got loose, slid down the racetrack. It appeared to make contact with Daniel Dye and sent him spinning. A vicious hit head on into the inside safer barrier for Daniel Dye.
Jeb Burton coming to the pit lane with a lot of right front damage. Eric Almirola, that car became airborne momentarily when he tagged the outside wall after the initial contact off of turn number 2. And we go caution for the 5th time in this event. 3 laps to go, but we are heading to overtime here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Austin Hill, the race leader, over Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love, Leland Honeyman, and Josh Williams, the top 5 under yellow here in Talladega.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal. Call 844-NASCAR-9 and we'll come tow away your vehicle for free. The process is quick and your gift is tax deductible. Call 844-NASCAR-9 to donate your vehicle to the NASCAR Foundation today. Your donation will help our children survive and thrive.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Couple of big hits here at the Talladega Superspeedway involving Daniel Dye to the inside wall, Eric Almirola to the outside wall with about a lap and a half to run in this race, forcing overtime here for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Multi-car incident there off of turn 2 that also collected Jeb Burton. From the Talladega Superspeedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins, a career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Looking for weekly motorsports podcasts to stay up to date on what's happening on and off the track? The Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform.
Continuing under the caution flag here at the Talladega Superspeedway in the closing laps of the United Rentals 250 multi-car incident on the back straightaway. And Dave Moody, a couple of pretty vicious hits at that end of the racetrack involving some of the race leaders.
Boy, that's for sure. Daniel Dye went head first into the wall. He hit so hard that the rear tires came off the ground on impact. Equally hard or maybe worse hit for Eric Almirola as he went to the outside retaining wall. Fortunately, both drivers have gotten out of the car and walked away.
Hard crash over there off turn 2 to the Alabama Gang super stretch. And that begs the question, Steve Post, as we're headed to overtime, the leaders were last on pit road on lap number 53. Are they good on Sunoco fuel?
Down here on Justin Allgaier's pit area, listening to the conversation, Jim Pullman, the crew chief, said, we have got 2.5 gallons worth of fuel, so you need to turn the car off when you can up on the banking, and then once we get close to getting back to green flag, it is low fuel protocols, and low fuel protocols are to make sure that you weave the car, make sure you get the car down on the flat, and get everything in the fuel pickup, which is on the right-hand side. Jim Pullman said this is the worst track probably as far as this scenario goes because of the fuel being down on the right side of the car. He also warned, he said, I am fairly confident Austin Hill and Jesse Love are probably in the same boat. They are good at this. They are veterans at this. He said there's other cars up in the top 10 that maybe haven't done it before, so you need to be conscious about who you're around when we get ready to go back to green flag racing. He mentioned specifically Austin Hill. Brad Gilley, you're monitoring Austin Hill's pit radio chatter. What are they saying on the Hill car?
Yeah, Steve, I can give you actually updates on both of those RCR teammates. Austin Hill just hopped on the radio and told his crew chief, Chad Haney, my fuel pressure is reading very, very low right now. Chad Haney told him by our our calculations, you should have about 2.5 gallons, enough to get you through an overtime. Now, teammate Jesse Love, he was told by Danny Stockman Jr. to save fuel as soon as the caution came out. Jesse Love got on the radio and said, I have saved so much fuel right now, it is ridiculous. We shouldn't have anything to worry about. I've saved more fuel than I ever have before.
Find out how it all plays out. There is a problem. Sammy Smith, who was running at the front of the field, Jason, he is all but stopped now, creeping down the pit lane.
Yes, he is, and he is frustrated because he can't get a push because there's other cars that are coming out on the track. They're waiting for a push truck to get him down. He's about 10 pit stalls away. It's just trying to hit the starter enough to keep it rolling. His teammate, Carson Kvapil, went by about a lap ago. He was out of fuel, so they made sure they topped it off. But for Sammy Smith, he's in a points race here right now. This one could hurt him here.
Also, Carson Kvapil making a stop as he was running among the top 10 a lap ago. Todd?
And for a younger driver here in the Xfinity Series, this could be, they may have a gallon and a half of fuel left in the fuel cell. You just spent so much time riding along on the banking. The fuel cell pickup is in the right rear corner of these fuel cells. While you sit out here, and it's not just a banking of the two ends, the tri-oval has a fair amount of banking as well. So there's a lot of this racetrack that you don't end up with fuel being pushed to the right side of the race car under caution. You can run out of gas with a couple gallons left.
Here come Justin Allgaier and Jesse Love. They're going to peel off the racetrack this time by and come to pit road. We have not gotten the one-to-go signal as of yet. We go to Brad Gilley.
Jesse Love thought he was way good on fuel, then hopped on the radio and told Danny Stockman it was sputtering. He wasn't sure if it was running out. Stockman said, if you think you're sputtering, pit. We're going to fill it up with fuel. They're also going to change 4 tires on his car as well. Steve.
Defensive move here for Justin Allgaier. While they felt like they had 2.5 gallons of fuel in the car, running out when we go back to green is not a good option. They talked about how many cars were on the lead lap, where they are as far as the playoff points go, and being locked forward, and they have decided to bring that car down and take the fuel question out of the equation. So Justin will be at the back of the field. He will not run out of fuel, and they feel like that they likely be able to get enough points by the end of the day to transfer on into the championship race at Phoenix. So a lot going into the call for Justin Allgaier to come down to get fuel.
Allgaier and Love second and third at the time of these pit stops as far as the amount of cars on the lead lap, showing 19 cars on the lead lap right now as we continue under the caution flag. It'll be 2 laps to go, overtime finish. Dave Moody, how's cleanup over off of turn number 2 where this incident broke out a couple laps ago?
Just about finished, Kyle. There is one safety truck up next to the outside safer barrier. Midway down the back straightaway. There may be an issue. I'm just guessing here because I don't have a line of sight, but there may be a small issue with the safer barrier where Eric Almirola hit. They continue to work down there.
Tim Catalfamo, as the cars come by you, it's been dicey over there on the backstretch all afternoon long. Now the fuel's become a question mark as well. I think we're in store for a pretty good finish.
I think so. It's been very aggressive. That has been the theme this afternoon for all these Xfinity Series drivers, and we've had a couple of close calls. Some of these blocks have just been inches away from touching off a multi-car crash. Luckily, we have not seen that to this point. But because we are entering overtime, there is so much on the line for these drivers, and you mentioned it, Alex, possibly not a whole lot of fuel in the fuel tank for some of these individuals in the top positions on the track. This could be a very dicey restart.
And Chris Wilner, as the cars made their way by you through turns 3 and 4 a moment ago, most of the leaders were right there at the bottom of the banking on the apron.
They certainly were, Kyle. Everybody, and you can even hear how quickly they were able to shut the cars off of turn number 4, doing everything they can to save fuel. Austin Hill leading that charge at the point of attack at the front of the field, but Leland Honeyman there as well as they hit the choose cone. Everybody doing what they can to save fuel, including shutting their cars off as quickly and as often as they can.
So 1 to go, time to choose. Austin Hill goes to the bottom. Leland Honeyman, second to choose, will go to the bottom. Third place, Josh Williams goes topside.
And if I'm choosing and I'm low on fuel, it's close, I'm taking the bottom lane. Like we see Austin Hill riding around on the apron right now, not to be up on the banking and make sure that fuel can stay loaded up to that fuel cell in the pickup.
So some newer names at the front of the field here for the final 2-lap run to the finish. Not Austin Hill, who will lead the field to green with Josh Williams to his right elbow. Leland Honeyman, Christian Eckes, row 2. Row 3, Blaine Perkins and Nick Sanchez. Row 4, Kyle Sieg and Harrison Burton. And in row 5, Garrett Smithley into the top 10 for the first time today, and David Starr to his outside as we get set for the restart.
For reference, Justin Allgaier, 16th. Jesse Love is 17th, and Sammy Smith is 18th. You know they have more than enough Sunoco fuel to get to the end. We don't know when that end will be because it's overtime right now. If there's a caution after the green flag comes out before the leader takes the white flag, we're going to slow them down and do it all over again. So we'll see how those three drivers elect to play this. You got to know, though, Kyle, they are going to try to barnstorm together to the front of the field.
Time will be thin. There will only be 2 laps for them to try to get to the front of the field. And you said if there's another yellow, we may do it all over again. Time is also running thin. Sun is going to set here in about 24 minutes from now at the top of the hour. So we'll see if they can make it back to the white flag. We'll know in about a minute and a half from right now as the pace car is on pit road. We are set for the restart. Austin Hill has been the dominant force for much of the afternoon here at the Talladega Superspeedway in the United Rentals 250. Can he stay there for 2 more laps? Into the tri-oval they come. Green flag is out. We're underway. Austin Hill with a big shove from behind by Leland Honeyman as the field comes up to speed and goes to turn number 1. 2 laps to settle it, and one car is slow up on the banking in the corner and out of fuel.
Thank you very much, Leland Honeyman, says Austin Hill as he gets pushed to the lead. He's going to hug the bottom of the racetrack. They're very slow coming up to speed as Josh Williams was the car that got a slow go.
Everybody coming up to speed. Austin Hill is the leader. He is against the double yellow line on the bottom of the racetrack. Leland Honeyman right behind him. Here comes Blaine Perkins trying to get the outside lane established in 3.
Outside lane with a full head of steam in a 3. Carson Quapple now going to try to put Blaine Perkins in the middle lane. He does. He's got Harrison Burton in tow, but they're side by side for 3rd. Christian Eck is trying to pick up the top lane, but it's Austin Hill leading Leland Honeyman on the bottom.
On the bottom side of the racetrack is where the leader is. Now the 2nd lane begins to form. 3rd lane is forming as well. Austin Hill at the front of the field. White flag goes in the air. Next flag ends it down to the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes a strong move from Justin Allgaier.
Allgaier is up to the number 3 position by a nose. He'll go to the inside and take over the 2nd spot. Austin Hill, middle of the racetrack. Allgaier on the bottom.
They are 3 wide for the 2nd position for the final time up the Alabama Gang super stretch. Oh, and around they go. Crashing on the back straightaway. Nick Sanchez gets turned into the wall. They're still racing the 3 with Austin Hill as the leader.
Austin Hill leading the train to the bottom side of the racetrack. They're getting squeezed to the top side. Jesse Love getting put almost in the fence, but into turn number 4. Austin Hill, 1 more corner to go. He's got Christian Eckes right up on the back bumper of the Chevy.
Christian Eckes right there in the 2nd spot.